But I got to say, we just see Ace Hood, real genuine dude. I salute you. I salute you. Like, just your humble ass and stuff. I appreciate that. We need more artists like you. That's it. At the bar.
Yeah, at the bar radio.
Yeah.
You already know this the king of Philly, man. At the bar radio, man. You already right.
Where to get lit at? You on your own. Just know why with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that planning, this that get back. It's a different day, no, it's same story, nigga. I've been winning, retire like I'm Robert Horry, nigga. They just thought they knew me, but I'm here to make my story bigger. Keep that Laker 40 with me, always know I had that clipper. She act Gilligan on my vote, bet I'm gon' skip her. If they start getting out of line, I bet I'm gon' get them. Pack a bag and book a flight, so they know I'm always tripping. I've been Scotty with the right, so they always know I'm pimping. Well, I always say I got haters, cause they just know I'm living. Word to my bro that came on, they just know I got a vision. The stove gotta stay on, so no product missing. Government want us to stay home, go broke for politicians. Had to carry that weight, never dealt with the opposition. My homie tryna beat the case when he had no pot to piss. I'm tryna cop a bird, but he caught up with all them pigeons. And I can never chase when ain't no love when you got them riches. I'm all alone, I been asking where your bitch at. She on the phone, tryna figure out where to get lit at. You on your own, just know why with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that planning, this that get back. I'm all alone, I been asking where your bitch at. She on the phone, tryna figure out where to get lit at. You on your own, just know why with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that planning, this that get back. Yeah. Alright.
Hey, Tuna, you made this?
I'm all alone. I've been asking where your bitch at. She on the phone, tryna figure out where to get lit at. You on your own, just know why with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that planning, this that get back. I'm all alone. I've been asking where your bitch at. She on the phone, tryna figure out where to get lit at. You on your own, just know why with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that planning, this that get back. It's a different day, no, it's same story, nigga. I've been winning, retire like I'm Robert Horry, nigga. They just thought they knew me, but I'm here to make my story bigger. Keep that Laker 40 with me, always know I had that clipper. She act Gilligan on my vote, bet I'm gon' skip her. If they start getting out of line, I bet I'm gon' get them. Pack a bag and book a flight, so they know I'm always tripping. I've been Scotty with the right, so they always know I'm pimping. Well, I always say I got haters, cause they just know I'm living. Word to my bro that came on, they just know I got a vision. The stove gotta stay on, so no product missing. Government want us to stay home, go broke for politicians. Had to carry that weight, never dealt with the opposition. My homie tryna beat the case when he had no pot to piss. I'm tryna cop a bird, but he caught up with all them pigeons. And I can never chase when ain't no love when you got them riches. I'm all alone, I been asking where your bitch at. She on the phone, tryna figure out where to get lit at. You on your own, just know why with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that planning, this that get back. I'm all alone, I been asking where your bitch.
What's going on? We back.
Good evening.
Lady Antoinette's in the building.
I know, I've been gone for 2 weeks.
I know, and shout out to the snitch.
She was away and talking about, what, we appreciate
So
you
y'all
watching,
mad?
but what stays and what goes on the air
Hey,
stays
no.
on the air.
Yo, they quoted word for word what we
No, I
said.
have people that look out. Okay, they gotta
You
look
ain't
out.
really do nothing though.
I have multiple people that look out.
Dog. She repeated exactly what we said on the damn show.
Right.
Word for word. It wasn't even a stutter in that joint.
And I wasn't even watching, for those who were here 2 weeks ago. I wasn't here on the show. I was driving back from moving my daughter to Florida. So I was on 95. I didn't know what was going on. So I had people that, had to check out the scene for me.
Chilling.
Because, before when I wasn't here, they was really acting a fool. They didn't think I was going to pull up, and I did.
It was only
and,
one time.
with my bodyguard, you know.
You wasn't doing nothing that day either.
Yes, you were.
Yeah.
I had my son pull up.
Yo,
with me.
we was out of control.
Y'all were acting a fool. And they was like, oh, you know, they had just finished telling the guests, you know, Lady Antoinette, she, you know, out, you know, for medical reasons, you know. Yeah. And I was like, keep playing with me, y'all. Y'all need to focus. Keep playing. I texted to him. I said,
She's
y'all
like,
know
that's not a question. She's like, that's not a question.
Great interview, man. We covered some interesting
Yeah,
topics.
and they were acting the fool. I tuned in, and they just went from one place to a whole nother. Next thing I know, they were talking about midget strippers and people with.
No, it started on midget strippers and then it went to.
Right, then it went to people with missing limbs.
It was a midget stripper with no legs.
And deaf people smashing.
I was asked the question, and I just gave some answers. All right, it ain't my fault.
And then you had the guests agreeing with your nonsense. I was like, oh, this is bad PR right here.
I mean,
he understood where I was coming
so I had to pull up. So this time I couldn't pull up, but I had to have my people, you know, check into the show.
I mean, literally quoted word for word what we said, though.
That's crazy, man. You could have said something during the show, man. Just going.
No. They had to go look.
Like, at least commenting.
When I told you, multiple people had to come back to me and be like, "Yeah, they was acting cool because you wasn't here." What? And then of course, we didn't have the show last week.
Yes, I was in Miami last week.
So I leave Florida, and then one by one goes the following week.
I'm still stuck in Maryland.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. We're gonna get you down there.
Yeah,
but
we're gonna get you.
But before we get you down there, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna do the search. That's why we went down there. We lied to you. I went down to Orlando, so I kind of went to Central Florida so I can make sure that you know, we could find your baby mama. One by one went to Southern Florida.
I was only in two spots when I was in Florida. I was in South Beach and West Palm Beach. So either.
Okay, but Miami, South Beach, right there. You know.
But I'd rather check West Palm Beach.
But just in case she moved up north, that's why I went.
I mean, they got there's a lot of ratchet women in Florida. They can
I
do it all.
Man, Florida's crazy.
But just in case she wanted to better herself, and I went to the Orlando area, you know, searching.
She wanted to learn pole dance.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about right here. This is what I'm talking about. Right? That's why you single. We trying to fix this.
Man,
you making it work.
This ain't no point.
This ain't no point.
They don't like me.
Man, let me tell you something.
They don't like me.
When we marry you off, man, that is we need to get some fireworks.
Let me light the match. I want to see that shit for myself.
You know the funny thing is, you keep talking like that, you never know what gonna happen.
Right. When that day happens, we getting fireworks. I mean, real talk. If I have to be responsible for the fireworks, I mean,
keep in mind, a year ago you said you would never drink tequila again.
Right. And guess what we got you doing?
Shit happens. But tequila, I can pitch out. A bad girlfriend lasts for time.
But we not talking about no bad girlfriend. We talking about an amazing wife.
See, first of all, you gotta start thinking every girlfriend gonna be a bad girlfriend.
Bam, there you go.
Because that's where it ends up. I try to be optimistic. I try to think the best. You know, it's gonna work out. But
do you really?
And I guess
I do. Lately, I mean, earlier in life.
Number one, first step, we need to get you to stop being so stingy. Because today you even showed me how stingy you were with the new set.
Oh yeah.
No, let me tell you. Y'all, my family, I have to tell y'all. CP3, we had some Douce. CP3 poured the rest of the Douce in his cup and then thought about it and said, "Oh, you want some out of his cup? Why you ain't think about that before?"
I forgot it was one more person that wanted to drink.
You forgot about me, y'all.
No, because you gotta remember, when you had your surgery, you couldn't drink, so we haven't been drinking together in a while. So.
Okay, but guess what? I have been cleared for everything since June 18th.
I know, but I said we weren't hanging together last. I know it's true. I've been doing a lot today, man. It's been a rough couple of days for the kids.
So Stevie, you gonna give us some sports? That's what we got. We got a lot to talk about. So.
We do.
Got a lot of sports to talk about also.
Uh-huh.
Definitely we'll cover tomorrow night on Sports in the Hill podcast.
You ever notice when he talks about sports, his voice goes into broadcaster voice?
Man, this is my resume, bro. I'm making some calls, trying to get some, contacts, bro. I'm trying to get paid to do this, Mike. It's not a game.
Wait, this part right here, that's not where it's at.
Hey, this at the bar already. I can't cut up on my shows. I cut up over here, man. That's what we do.
Yeah, but then you get down to business.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
appreciate that
You know
part.
what I'm saying? I'm always taking care of business.
Until you get real drunk and then you got the business voice, but you forget everything about this.
That's why I wrote it down this time. See, I'm learning from my mistakes.
I'm glad. I see you with your nose. Okay, my bad.
Trying to be a better man, a better broadcaster every day.
Every day.
See, it's like the game off it.
But thank God I know some sports because sometimes I have to be like, oh, so you're not gonna talk about the such and such, and you be like, oh
It's
yeah.
like certain things I don't like the Olympics. I'm not gonna even try to go in there. I'm gonna let
Man,
Robbie,
it's too much
exactly. I'm
stuff
gonna
going
let
on with
Robbie
the
cover
Olympics
that
right
tomorrow night. They love the Olympics.
But
I'll sit
I
back and
mean,
turn my camera
there's certain constants though in the Olympics.
I mean,
Like Jamaica sweeping.
yeah, that was crazy.
That's a constant.
Yeah, they swept the first, second, and third place over the 100 meter.
Yeah, we accept
Whoa.
that.
Test them for weed.
Well,
You know
Spotify
what?
and all
You
of
know
it.
well, here's the thing. When you have the fastest person on your team sitting at home,
Everybody stop. Everybody stop. I'm gonna tell you like this: nobody in track and field is smoking right now. They had a wonderful reminder.
When you have the fastest person at your team sitting home, what do you think the Jamaicans are going to do? They was like, we're going to avenge that bobsled defeat.
Don't do them like that. That Jamaican bobsled team was amazing.
But look at the hypocrisy of weed in this country. It has it classified as a class 2 narcotic, but then also has it classified as a performance enhancer.
Okay, so you do realize that we're talking about the Olympics, so we're talking about the Olympic Committee
I know,
that does not.
they still consider it a PED.
But what I'm saying is, you can't talk about this country when you're talking about the Olympic
But
Committee.
it still goes into some of the hypocrisy with the weed.
It's a hypocrisy of the weed globally.
I mean, the
It's
Constitution
not-
is written on weed. That's what trips me. It's written on his
Yes,
paper.
I know
Exactly.
that. I know that.
So if weed is illegal, in essence, the Constitution is illegal. So what the fuck are we doing?
You know
Well,
what? Here we go.
I'm
I thought we was talking sports.
talking sports.
You talking about the girl smoking weed? I had man.
No, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know when
that's
it's
a
2 weeks off
global.
the air for me, I know I got a lot of shit on my brain that I ain't got off. So when I miss a
You
week,
always
I be
have
up.
stuff.
Well, when you take a week off. All right, let me go ahead and get into sports. While I'm making the plug tomorrow
Mainly
night.
here.
Yeah, cut up, drink, and have a good time.
Yeah, all right.
All right, it's a lot to go over, so I'm gonna just give a quick rundown, starting with the Nats, who actually won today, walk-off fashion. Yadiel Hernandez hit a walk-off solo home run in the bottom of the ninth to get the victory 6-5 over. See, y'all got me drinking all. No, they.
Oh, no, we got you.
I gotta blame y'all against Chicago Cubs. They won 2 out of 3 against me. You see how I got to mess with these people out here.
That thing be like,
You drink all that you say by yourself, and you blame me.
You didn't speak up. You should have spoke up and said, "I was something that gave you something." So it's your fault too.
It's my fault that you was being
we will never have Duce on this show ever again.
Hey man, I'm trying to bring the
He
whiskey.
forgot who they played.
Hey man, I got a lot of
And then
stuff
said it's
breaking
your
out.
fault that he forgot.
Like Americans, I had a brain before I had to kill some time. I had to think about it. But yeah, they beat the Cubs. They're now 49-56. They've won 4 out of the last 10, which is not really good. If you been watching the trade deadline, they after you spoke about on the show last Monday, after getting swept by the Orioles and getting off to a poor start out of the All-Star break, they ended up. Oh, you're not the only one. I thought they were going to turn the corner. I was being optimistic. I'm always optimistic when it comes to the Nats because what we saw do in 2019.
Right.
And unfortunately, with that coming out the All-Star break, they ended up turning into sellers during the trade deadline instead of buyers trying to make a run for the playoffs. Because as I mentioned on the show, there's going to be 3 teams coming out the West with the Padres, Dodgers, and the 3-way tie San Francisco Giants. Because they've been 1, 2, and 3 all season.
Yeah.
So the West is dominating. So if you don't win the division, you're not making the playoffs in any other division. So the Nets and Mike Rizzo made a tough decision to go ahead and turn into sellers. And this is why, for all the folks on social media that's scratching their head and upset, when they went on that run in 2019, in that process, they traded away a lot of their prospects, which is what was the strong suit of this team and why the team played so well and won the division so many years in a row, but never got to the promised land. So now that they made that run, now the cupboard is bare. And now when they need those players to come up, we don't have those players that can come in up and fill in like we saw Anthony Rendon, homegrown child. We saw Trey Turner, not homegrown, he got from the Padres, but he came up through our farm system and they debuted with the Nets. So now they have to, get more pieces to be able to replenish the system and get back better players into the majors. So just to run down a few of the departures, Brad Hand, which I wasn't too happy they signed him anyway, traded him to Toronto. Yeah, that man a $10 million contract, and he blew 5 saves this year, all against American League East teams. That's why I wonder why Toronto traded for him, because he imploded last year against the Yankees in the playoffs. So it caused the Cleveland Indians a shot at getting further in the playoffs.
But they got a new name now.
I mean, the Guardians. Sorry. And a lot of folks are wondering why they changed their name so fast, and the Washington football team is still going through the process. Because the Washington football team has to go through branding and trademarking, and no one knows how long Cleveland has been working on this transition.
They have been working on it for a while.
Because no one was focusing on them like they do on the Washington football team. So for all of those guys that's wondering, and all those fake DC sports folks that's making a big deal out of it, claiming that the football team is using it as a ploy or whatever, get a life.
There you go.
Crazy. I'm tired because now football season starts, so all these so-called experts, these folks on DC sports media running their mouth, and I want to get at them, and they afraid to let me come. So I'm about to start calling them. I'm going Robert or something this year now. It's crazy. Jan Gomes traded to Oakland, going with Josh Harrison. Back on that one. And the big trade that a lot of folks were upset about. I'm not gonna say I'm upset about it, but I'm sad to see Mad Max and Trey Turner go, especially to the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Why did something that hurt your soul?
Because
It did, though. It really did.
I can't stand the Dodgers. Dodgers are like the Yankees out of the National League. They overpay, get the luxury tax or whatever, and make a run to the World Series almost every year. Last year they won it. They're looking to go, back to back, which I was hoping the Nats would do, but unfortunately had the COVID shortened season, and the Nats didn't get to enjoy all the fruits of the labor of the World Series run they had, which I was hoping they would be able to, get back. But, like I said, they have to retool the toolbox and get more time to players on the field. We got Juan Soto, Victor Robles, which a lot of folks are still on the fence about. Luis Garcia just came up. Some of the pieces they traded for, I believe, will be getting us some games soon, because honestly, most likely they're out of the playoffs. Who else? So Kyle Schwarber, who was having a killer season in June before he went down with a hamstring injury, traded him to Boston. And John Lester, who I didn't like the move anyway, would get him on the team, was traded to St. Louis. Going into basketball, the Wizards made a blockbuster trade with the Lakers and Russell Westbrook. They traded for Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, Kentavious.
That sounds like a disease.
This nigga's name is
He's struggling so
because
bad.
it's
You
worse
sound
than-
like a substitute
This is
teacher.
worse than Cleophas from a different world, man. Like the Wayne Cleophas way. I'm like, where you get that name from?
Would you name your son Cleophas?
Kentavious Caldwell Pope.
He said that's his name.
That's his name. And that's the name his mama gave. And 2 second-round picks, one in 2024, and one in 2028. This past week, the NBA had their draft, and they drafted Corey Kemper. This is how you say it.
You really sound like a substitute teacher right now.
Because some of these man,
That's 'cause you
wanna
don't
try
like-
to read this?
That's because you don't like the NBA.
First of all, I can't read your handwriting. It's so little.
Kievert. all right, do the best I can over here. It's like when I try to do hockey, something names.
Why you write so small when your
I'm
eyes
supposed to be a doctor.
when your eyes are like that?
I was supposed to be a doctor.
Did you get it? Your eyes are squinted.
Because I can see it's like magnified.
No, I don't.
I can see all this.
Sure, it is.
I can see the future. Either small, I believe he was a small forward, I believe, or shooting guard. I couldn't find the exact position he played, but I know we'll talk about it tomorrow night on Sports on the Hill. And he's also a teammate of Rui Hachimura, who was a draft pick in 2019 for the Wizards, and had high hopes for him also.
Yeah.
Let's see.
My son looks like him.
He do a little.
See?
It's a
My
little-
son looks like him. It's weird.
It's a little lighter.
Yep.
Been watching football team news. Training camp, I believe, wrapped up yesterday. If not yesterday, today they'll be moving back up to Ashburn. They were down in Richmond for the past week. Most of the reports I've been able to check out, and I haven't had a chance to look at my sources yet because it's still so early. I'm gonna wait. Reaching out to a couple of people to see if we can have some interviews. I'm trying to get Jim Donaldson back on, like we had her on last season. But she's very busy this year with all the stuff that she's doing. So stay tuned. But they say that defense is looking outstanding. William Jackson III, who was the prize cornerback in free agency, the Washington football team signed. He's on the outside with the third-round draft pick, Benjamin St. Juste, who has been impressing, especially being a rookie. And they saying, excuse me, that'll be freeing up Kendall Fuller, who plays one of the best slot corner positions in the league. We'll be moving more on the slot, not on the outside, which I always say that's not a strong suit. I mean, not to his detriment, but he's a smaller guy, so when he goes against the bigger wide receivers on the outside, they tend to be able to box him out and, get him out of position because of the size. But they say that the defense is looking good. Landon Collins and Cameron Curl have been on the field at the same time, playing in the safety positions, but Collins down in the box, Curl playing the free safety, which I didn't think was going to happen with coming off the Achilles injury with Collins. He's only 27. He has a big contract, a big cap number, but looked like he's, from what I heard from Coach Rivera in the press conference, he's very impressed with what he's doing. I heard he's been playing very well. He's on schedule after the Achilles. It's normally a 9-month rehab, and they said that he's looking pretty good out there. That time on the sideline helped them looking at the game and the new defense from the coach's perspective and seeing each play as to go down and hearing what the coach would expect from him. So they saying that that's definitely worked out in his favor. And on the last note, and I can't say last note, almost second to last note. If you saw Coach Rivera's press conference, I believe at the beginning of the week, he mentioned the frustration that he had with the low vaccination rate on the team. Washington has one of the lowest rate, if not lowest rate of vaccinations on the team. They're at about 50%. And the way the league is at it now, because of the extended regular season now with 17 games and 3 preseason games, they're talking about teams that they don't have enough people to dress for the game because of COVID situations that they will make the team forfeit the game. And saying that to say this, Washington has just had another player diagnosed, put on the COVID restriction list, along with Curtis Samuel, who was on the PUP list because of COVID reserve, Cornelius Lucas, Brandon Sheriff, the 2-time franchise guy, David Sharp, another offensive line member, and this one just broke about 30 minutes ago. Deron Payne is the latest player that's put on the COVID list. One of the defensive tackles, first-round pick that they drafted, 3 years ago now? Yeah, that's also the good news. Well, that's good news. Jonathan Allen signed his contract extension. He was on the 5th-year option of his rookie deal. He signed the 4-year, $72 million extension with $30 million guaranteed. So, for all the geniuses that keep on saying the team overpaid for him, guaranteed money does not count against the cap. So you subtract that $30 million from the 72, that puts it at 4 years, $42 million, which is about $10.1 million a year. which is below the average of the top paid defensive tackles in the league, which is around 15.7. So for all of the folks that say the team overpaid for him, go read a book.
You know, that was very impressive mathematics.
Hey,
I was very impressed. I was very impressed.
football, you know how I love football.
But then he ended with.
I gotta drop the mic. I can't do it on Monday. I gotta be a family friendly show. I can't spread my frustration with some of these things. But we'll talk about more and break it down more tomorrow night on Sports Mill Podcast, streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and always on the next day of the podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Just Google us #SportsCOP. You can't miss it. We got it. You know you know. DC Sports on Politics, baby. Hey man.
Now you try to talk sexy at the end.
Because I gotta put the emphasis on it. Because I gotta put the emphasis on it. I gotta put. Sometimes you gotta put the dick on the table, son.
You know what? No, you don't. No, we had the conversation.
I think that's something where the internet does not want to see.
I will pull my knife out. Like it's not a game. Let me put my partner's clothes on.
Just saying, man. Oh, she ain't got a bracelet on.
Ooh, that's a big joint. I heard that joint dropped.
Lucky I left my baton. I got my baton.
Where your baton at? I got my stuff on the table. So if you decide you want to put something on the table, I got something on the table.
Flip this motherfucker over.
You know, I don't care. You flip the table, the camera's blocked. Do it.
They gonna have audio.
Right.
Stop. You trying to kill me. Man, damn.
I'll be the first one. We flipping tables? Bang.
So,
No evidence.
what's going on, Lady Internet?
Nothing much. I try to get my life together after moving my child. I've never been so tired.
How was that trip?
It was so. First of all, we packed her truck up on
Tell us how you really
the
feel.
highest day ever. It was like 99 degrees that day. And humid. Very humid. So pack the truck up. Next day we leave out in the evening, right? I'm like, all right, we're gonna leave in the evening. This is gonna be a nice, smooth ride, right? Well, apparently the governor decided that it didn't want us to drive a certain speed with the U-Haul on the road. So our trip took 14 hours to Florida. Non-stop. We just stopped to go to the restroom.
14 hours?
14 hours. Then we get there. Florida is hot.
Florida heat is very disrespectful.
It is. Especially in Orlando that particular day. It was hot, it was muggy, and we just drove 14 hours, but we like, all right, let's stop into the apartment. She's on the second floor.
Why can't it be on the basement?
Because first of all, I'm not having my daughter who's single by herself living on the ground floor. Bars on the wall.
I just hate moving upstairs.
What?
I hate
Everybody hates moving upstairs.
Yeah.
However, the move is like one day. She's going to live there longer than one day. You see what I'm saying? So I would rather move the stuff up the stairs and struggle for that one day than for her to live on the ground floor. You're a man. She's a 5'2", 130-pound girl.
I'm just saying. My aunt used to move like every 2 years.
Okay,
she would
so-
always move on the third floor.
See,
So I was like,
third floor.
what?
See, that's different than the second.
Yeah, that shit used to be like, really?
You hate that because you was the nigga that was moving.
Right.
You
The whole
know,
time, I'm gonna be real with you. We didn't have much help on that end.
Yeah.
Not like we did on this end. So moving that stuff, oh my goodness.
Yeah. You always got more shit than you ever imagined when you move.
You put your son to work.
You know, you better do something.
Yes, that's a system. Why not? You help it. And then when we of course I got a resort while I was down there so that we wouldn't have to impose on her. But my son was like, I'm staying here. He stayed with his sister.
I thought he was a rider for you.
For me? But apparently he's more of a rider for his sister than
You know
he
he's
is for
gonna miss
his
his
mom.
sister. Now she's gonna be focused on his little ass the whole time.
Yeah.
He like,
Okay.
He tried that already. Already. I was like, why is this? Who put this here? He was like, I didn't put it there. Who did it? The dog? Who did it? There's nobody else here but you.
all deniability is God.
He was like, I didn't do that. It wasn't there yesterday. It's only me and you here in this house. Who did it? Already.
You know, it's tough when your other sibling goes away. I've been through that. Like, when my older brother went to jail, man, my mom started asking questions she ain't never asked before. Where you going? What the hell do you mean? Why you come in the house this late? I mean, you left the door open. There's no, I can't blame anybody else. The other scapegoat.
I promise you, I think my son tried to blame the dog for something, and I was like, bro.
We ain't have pets. I ain't had nobody to blame.
But here's the thing: there's certain things that the dog is not gonna do. You understand? Like who put these dishes in the sink?
The dog did it. It could be a very talented dog.
You don't know when you're around, man.
I heard Taylor about to get a DJing gig.
Dog, you be in the house 12 hours practicing. I be at
I'm
work.
sure.
Man.
I'm sure.
My board messed up. I was all out of whack.
Oh.
He probably doing a podcast.
Yeah.
But my owner left me.
You know, it's dog's life.
Right. He probably had Snoop on his show. You need to get your game up. You need to get your game.
So I gave you $2.
Taylor was like, I tried to tell you. You didn't want to listen, but I just had to go outside.
So.
But yeah, the trip home was 12 and a half, which was a little better than 14.
I bet it would.
So we got home at like 5 o'clock in the morning on Monday, and for some reason I thought I was gonna be able to work. So I didn't take off on Monday. So that
Whoa.
was that was
I made that mistake. I didn't go to a different state.
Yeah,
I was moving to the same state.
that was a little rough. So I've been trying to, cope. Because I did take off the week that we moved, but the week that I came back, and then after that, I've been trying to get it together. But, and then I'm going out of town this weekend. And then 2 weeks after that.
You making CP3 jokes.
Yeah, man, real big.
CP3, I ain't going nowhere until October.
Just in Miami, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm going.
I can barely get to Florida Avenue.
You know what? Well, I'm gonna tell you like this now. I'm just gonna prepare you next year. You will be mad at me. So I need you to get your little pieces together.
Get my life together.
Because I'm about to act a fool next year, okay?
She got one child down.
Right. I'm acting a whole fool.
So while I was in that Florida heat is ridiculous.
It's very disrespectful.
Miami, that Florida heat is very disrespectful. So
And then whoever said that because Florida is positioned where it is, there's no humidity, they're lying.
I want to slap them.
They're lying.
So let me tell you,
The ocean breeze where?
there's no breeze.
There's hurricane and then there's hot. That's it.
So
It's not as hot down there in October, but still, so I am going back down there in November.
we I think the next trips that I got for Renegade is Atlanta, and then we're trying to go to Vegas in December.
Oh yeah, really quickly.
Man, I ain't been to Vegas.
If you missed the Miami, I can see you.
You fucking right.
But I feel like everybody's in Vegas this weekend. I'm like, did I miss something? Like I just seen.
Well, last week everybody was in Miami when I was looking.
That's true.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah,
everybody's
motherfuckers
like, I know so many people in Vegas right now. And then I saw footage of Kevin Hart jumping on stage during an Usher performance in Vegas. I was like,
Damn.
why didn't I get the memo?
I know. But that Miami trip broke me.
Well,
Yeah, So let me tell you about some of these Miami stories.
Oh, you just want to take a sip. Wait, what's this bougie Corona you got right here?
Red.
Uh-huh.
Drinking with my pinky out. Corona to be familiar.
What is that? Look at it. This is a.
Wait, why you say that properly?
Yeah, I know.
Can't speak no foreign language. I have to sound that shit out
I
loud.
said you said it's properly though. But I'm shocked.
I work in
You
the
must
industry
be
with a lot of
you must
space.
be drunk because you speaking in foreign languages properly.
I work on it at work. I get some promo and stuff comes in the.
You know you messing up, see?
I'm telling you, I gotta work on this shit.
So when we was in the last day we was in Miami, right? We was telling my man to go to DJ Khaled for our finger record. So we parked up the street. I don't know who turned the heat up from heat to cotton field
Yeah, so you wait, you park and then walk.
and then walk.
Oh no.
So we went there, but then we had to walk back because we had to go catch our plane. So we stopped on the way. First of all, Renegade had a gallon of water with it.
Yes.
Then we stopped at 7-Eleven. I got me like one of those. Wasn't enough. Then we finally get to the car. I will never go to Miami Airport again. First of all, it looks big on the outside. The terminal that we had to go through was like this big with like the Million Man March and this shit.
Because everybody was in Miami. That's why.
So we should have went to Fort Lauderdale. But so we wound up doing this long ass walk, and I was like, yo. So when I went to the airplane joint, you know how you stand like then they do the little scan?
Oh,
They was like, oh, we can't read you because you're sweating. I started to say,
well, I've never heard.
he's like, oh, you sweating? We can't read you. We got to pat you down and use the machine.
What? What do you mean you're sweating that we can't read you? I've never heard that.
Like, what the fuck do you? I was like, I'm sweating. Do you know what the fuck I am?
Everybody's sweating.
Like,
You're sweating.
Yeah, I'm sweating. Imagine what my balls feel like.
I'm like, dude, you're sweating. Look, make it out. He's like, the way he said it to, I really wanted to slap him. He's like, excuse me, sir, we couldn't get a good reading on you. Are you sweating? That sweat drips down my face. I'm like, no, nigga, I'm melting. What do you think?
Shower, motherfucker.
I mean, it was just like, it was clearly you can see I'm sweating. So, we did all of that. We had to search for 30 minutes and we couldn't find the little desk to be like, hey, where's this gate at? So we wound up finding it. And then, we did all that,
That's
that
the real
nonsense.
reason why you gotta be there early. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Because you gotta like search for everything.
Yeah, and then when we got there, the shit was smaller than my living room. How the hell we all gonna get on the plane on this shit? Then they wound up, I think, changing us to another gate.
Oh yeah, I hate when they do that.
Yeah, that blew me.
Because
But
the gate don't ever be closed.
Yeah, it was. So after finally catching your breath, they're like, "Oh, by the way, you gotta walk that way."
Yeah.
I was like, "You a bunch of haters."
Right.
But while we was in Miami, it was fine. So we went to this restaurant that CP3 would love called Bacon Bitch. So at Bacon Bitch,
Bacon on the bitch?
Oh my god. That's what I'm talking about. Did you hear the way he said it?
yeah. Something's wrong with you.
But he get mad when I be like, "Oh, you a pimp?"
So at Bacon Bitch, basically, they call you bitch.
Oh, that's nice.
So.
Wait, he's done. Right? You just took him out.
So, first of all, shout out to my man George. You ever had a dude that don't know how to give you fucking directions?
Oh no.
So the restaurant is like on the corner in the cut. So we put the GPS in to find it, and it's saying we're here and we're looking, and the fucking sign is about this big.
Oh.
So then we keep walking past it. So finally, he
Still laughing about it.
thank God somebody had an iPhone. Wait till I get to that part.
Work there. Like,
So we had to use somebody the location on their iPhone, and then we went there, right? We had walked past the motherfucker like 6 times by this point. So it was almost ready to close, and she's like, "Welcome to Bacon Bitch, bitch." And we was like, okay. And then she was like, well, we're about to close. I was like, well, my party's here. And she was like, oh, you have a table? Oh, I don't care, bitch.
You about to-
So-
I don't think he gonna make it through.
So when the waitress comes, she goes, hey, hell, welcome to bacon, bitch. Bitch, what's your order?
Don't drink while he's telling this story. You're so
I got to this shit is too funny.
So at first it caught me on guard. He like, yeah, this chick was talking about this for my time. But so we laughing and stuff, and then so this is how you get the waitress' attention. Hey, bitch. Hey, bitch.
How many fights? I wonder how many fights the police took on him.
There's no police in it.
Man, somebody called him a bitch.
I mean, but that's why you like, hey, bitch. I need a water. So when I came to Midway, I was like, hey, bitch. I need a chicken sandwich and I need this drink. And then Renegade got chicken and waffles in the drink.
Was it good? Was the food good?
So it was all right. It was all right. It wasn't bad. The price was horrible. So this is what I'm about to get to now. So
you got paid for them to call you? Oh, okay.
So
Oh God.
So we did this, right? So we did this, and she gave us the bill. Mind you, remember what I said? I got a chicken sandwich. Not chicken sandwich with fries.
Oh, just the sandwich.
Just a chicken sandwich. A chicken, a slab of breast
20.
with 2 pieces of bread, and I got 1 alcoholic drink.
Okay.
Renegade had chicken and waffles.
Which is so easy to make.
And 1 alcoholic drink. She handed me a bill for $100.
Oh.
I was like, bitch, are you kidding?
And then up for the bed.
What are you doing?
Bitch, where's the rest of my food? But did we miss it? I know. So we had, we paid the bill or whatever. So then the waitress started fucking with my man there. She's like, all right, bye, bitch. Hey, bitch, you in the corner. Bye, bitch.
Oh my God.
Because we were clowning him. We was clowning. I was like, you ain't quiet there. You let that little girl call you a bitch. So I guess she heard us clowning him. And she was like, hey, bitch, you in the corner. Bye, bitch. Bye, bitch. I was like,
What's wrong? Oh, you ain't like that part. That part wasn't that funny to you.
Nah, this is great.
Just the
You like it because you get to say, hey, bitch.
Yeah, I did.
Hey, bitch, I want some water now.
That shit is hilarious.
You could be like,
I just went down
if
with
you
the
were, if none.
bitch looked at me funny. She called me a bitch a different way.
You just take it off. You take the happiest stories to the
I'm
darkest
just saying,
places.
I done seen some crazy shit.
What
But
do
then
you
we talking about chicken and waffle. I ordered from this spot. This is a quick sign. I was trying to, frequent a black-owned establishment that just opened up on DoorDash.
What's the establishment?
I'm not gonna put them out there because the story isn't a flattering story.
Oh, okay, but you gotta tell us that.
They had a nice picture of chicken and waffles with the Belgian waffles with the powdered sugar on top. It's okay. I'm gonna try it out.
Okay.
I got some wings to go with it too. I got me some wings. I opened up the tray for the chicken and waffles. Famous gave me 4 chicken tenders and 2 Eggo waffles.
There you go.
2 Eggos, bro.
That
shit ain't funny.
You should have said that shit back. You should have said back.
Bruh,
I would have said that shit back. I would have said that shit back.
Bruh.
I would have said that shit. This is not like the picture.
Disgusting. I was like, really? It's all golden brown, and I got no butter enough. There's 2 Eggo waffles in that joint before.
I saw what it did about it though. He loved fixing Belgian waffles.
Oh man.
2 Eggos.
All right, so
of course it would be you that gives us a ratchet story.
definitely. So while we were in Miami, Renegade did get to perform. I'm actually gonna play his performance today.
Okay.
So after we finish this, that'll be the first video we're gonna play is actually his performance.
Okay.
One of the things it's funny because we just had this conversation with Go Villain. But one of the things we were telling my man, and my man CP3, not my man, my other dude named Chris, I'm sorry, was his name is MV something, whatever. But we was just talking about people on your team, and we were just, and there's a point in this when Renegade was performing that one of those dudes that's supposed to be on this dude's team he had Renegade come up on stage, and when Renegade was performing, he didn't share the same energy. It was hate and envious. And you have to be worried. That's why I was talking about having people up on stage. You gotta be worried of people around you. When people see that you're doing great things or that you're better than them, they tend not to celebrate you.
Yeah, they're not always for you.
Yeah. So we saw that. We had that conversation. Um, we had a wild night. We went to a mansion party that got shut down early.
By the police.
Yep, it was out there full force. So we went, but as we went to the mansion party, CP3 can relate to this. My man's brother, godbrother, was drunk as shit. So
C3 can relate already. Go ahead.
so it's a mansion pool party. So we're walking around. You know, it was like $50 to get in. I follow. So we walking around. I am not drinking for a reason because as we got there, one they were already dude was already turned. So we're at the Airbnb and he kept telling his man to send me your location. So I happen to walk outside. He goes, send me your location, and I sit down and I go, that's not gonna happen. And he's like, I was like, just to let you know, I paid for this Airbnb.
Yeah.
I said, and there's a noise audience in the state of Florida, and I will not be sleeping on somebody's floor or anything if we got kicked out.
Right.
So Renegade's looking like, yeah, he ain't playing no. Renegade's like, yeah.
Dude, you can party elsewhere, but you're not about to be loud when we there.
And you know, my voice was like, yo, I understand that those your peoples. They will fucking not be coming here. I was like, yo, they're not gonna come here. So I was like, just tell them to meet at the spot. So we get to the mansion joint. Dude is turned. And normally when he ain't too drunk, he cool. But he's turned. So I'm just watching everything. As I'm sitting there observing stuff, a nigga about Carol size, a little bit taller, walks, and he's security. Obviously he's security because he had Carol's bill. He looked like Carol. You think he had hair or something. He may have dreadlocks. I don't remember that part.
Dang.
But I do remember this.
I felt that gut check.
He had an AR-15 on his side.
Yeah, that was. I feel like there's a relation there.
So son had an AR-15. So I'm like, oh, well, I will not be drinking, especially if we have a person with us that is too drunk, because either I can defuse the situation or I can run the fuck out.
Yeah.
Either way, I need to be sober.
You need to be alert. You need to be alert.
Either way, you know, hey, if I can't defuse this situation, if he's already got the trigger finger, well, you know, hey, I need to go that way.
Swiftly.
Yes. If I can get him before he can draw it up, like, hey, I'll take care of this dude. I'm an OG. I got him. Sorry about that. We leaving. We done. You know, but so I'm just watching everything. So they go inside. I'm outside, and dude stepped out the party, and they was like, "Yo, we step out.
You can't come back.
No, you can come back in. You just gotta pay $20."
No.
So he paid the $20, but then he wanted the $20 back after he came back into the party. And then he was almost arguing. Renegade caught him because he was almost arguing with the dude with the AR-15.
No, baby. Did he notice that he had a weapon? I'm confused.
I don't think.
That's not something that you should do. It's argue with.
I don't even think he knew what color the sky was at this point. He was so lit. And so then the music stopped. And then we saw like the police lights in the back. So when I tell you they came in full force, we couldn't even back out. So many things. They took up the street. And it was just like, yo, so they shut the party down.
Clearly, but at least let us leave.
And then, you know, people was arguing and stuff, and I even had to tell him, I was like, "Renegade, calm that shit down." And he's like, "Nah, because it's just," I was like, "Bruh, first of all, you don't know the whole situation." And he was like,
why they shut it down.
And he was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "We don't know why they shut the party down because I said the flyer said 3 nights, which means they've been partying for 2. Which means they probably got a warning maybe on the 1st or the 2nd and continued to do this, knowing there was a possibility of this party getting shut down."
Right, true.
And he was like, "Oh, I didn't think about it." I said, "You have to look at it." And I said, and I know why you don't, because you came to party with your friends and stuff. But you got to think about it for all angles and in all aspects. And see, we assume because they come to shut the party down that the police are the bad guys. However, they could have warned them Friday night, don't do this shit again.
And
They could have warned them on Saturday night.
But here's the
Yo,
thing, this might not even be the first weekend that they've done this.
yeah,
This might be a constant issue.
yeah.
You know?
So, and then I pointed out, I said, "Oh yeah, here's another reason why the party got shut down." He was like, "Why?" I said, "Because black people, like what you just did, don't follow directions." And he said, "Why?" And I said, "In that flyer, it said we needed to park at the shopping center and a shuttle bus."
Would take you on.
He said, "Well, they own this property." I said, "You don't know what they own.
Yeah.
We don't know what they own. Even if they did." I said, "The reason why they tell you to do that is because they don't want the police to know that they're having a party."
Yeah, true.
I said, "But look at all these cars that belong to all these people in there. So now you alerted
Yeah, it's very clear who had the party.
because you didn't follow directions."
It's hot. That's what
But this is supposed to be. I don't think that bruh, you're wrong. And I was and as I explained it to you is you're wrong because the minute we parked here we were wrong.
Yeah.
The instruction was park at the and even walking from the shopping center, it's like a 5-minute walk. But you're in Florida, so you don't want to step on an alligator or alligator step on you. But but the instruction was to park there, catch the shuttle bus, which would only took about a minute to drive you here. Had all these people follow that instructions, then one, you wouldn't have to wait for the police to back out so you could finally leave. Two, you set the alert in. That may have been the issue. All the people parked there. We're assuming that they own that property. We don't know that. We're working off of assumptions in a foreign state. That's not ours. So you don't know county lines and all this other stuff. So,
and like you said, noise ordinance.
and Florida has a noise ordinance, which I didn't know. I was like, how the hell y'all have a noise ordinance in Miami? So,
good folks from New Zealand, because your Facebook feed, I think, is down.
yes.
They actually chimed in on my feed. He said he sent in a new video from his 14-year-old daughter, one of my favorite TJ May Pro.
Okay.
And her 25-year-old cousin, his niece, Tisha. And he said he shared the show already, and he said he sent you the track.
Feed after that.
Yeah, he just sent me the track.
Yeah. Yeah, I tagged. I did tag.
Okay. Yeah.
Follow my page, because when I set mine up, I can't tag.
Yeah, but I shared your page too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But
sorry, you good.
So
we know that you had a little deep sack.
So when we were walking on South Beach, and this is the funny ass story.
You said you was walking on South Beach.
We was walking on South Beach. It was about 3:00 in the morning. They was walking. They first of all, every night I was playing, I ain't go to bed till like 5.
Usually, that's Miami. That's a Miami.
So we walking on South Beach. Me renegade in the suburbs, right? We're sitting on the steps, and this dude. It's like 3:00 in the morning. This dude comes, face all fucked up. And
Like
he's in his,
in a fight?
yeah, and he's in his underwear.
That's nice.
So he's like, they got me again.
Again?
I mean, his face is fucked up. Like, clearly he didn't win the battle.
He got clothes on.
So we all laughing at this point, right? So the next day we in Wet Willie's, and we see this girl there, and she's talking to my man George. So I start to tell George about this story, and she's like, "Hold up, wait a minute. Did he have on like some gray underwear, some little tighty whities?" She said, "Yeah." Okay, I'm gonna tell you what happened to him.
Oh.
So apparently he was out in front of a gay club, mouthing off. And I think they reenacted the scene from Hustle and Flow where they whooped that trick.
I was about to say. Oh my
And they
God.
whooped him. But then she's like, after he got whooped, because she's like, well, he still had his clothes on after he got whooped. And I was like, okay. So then she's like, oh, after he got beat up though, he started fucking with another person, and he got whooped by that other person, and that's apparently how. So he actually got beat twice in one night.
They got me again. I bet.
Oops, I did
I mean,
it
my
again.
thing is when you run your mouth, just didn't I send y'all that? When you run your mouth, you just might get dragged. You have to understand.
I don't know if it's called getting dragged when you ain't got no clothes on.
I mean, but that's a dragging to me.
That's what the fuck that.
It's amazing how much.
You beat a nigga to his draw.
Hey, it happens.
Yeah, I've seen some shit happen. It's amazing how people that talk shit and sell all these book tickets, and then when situation changes and they come against the right one, then they want to start apologizing and shit like, my bad, dog. You know, nah, you was just this big bad motherfucker gonna whip my ass. Now you gotta do this. Like, all right, well, whip my ass then. And now it's a situation. Now you want to be diplomatic.
Now the crazy thing is, he a skinny nigga at that. He ain't even like a cop.
But that's who run their mouth. Real talk. That be who. That's the people who run their mouth.
Yeah, see, dudes like me, I just sit back and chill, man. And if somebody fuck with me, then okay, I do what I gotta do. But I don't be one to.
Dog, this nigga look like he still eats Happy Meals. He was skinny.
It's the people who can't hold their weight, for real, literally, that run their mouth. People who have no chance of winning will run their mouth. I don't understand it, but
that's the great.
Yeah,
you got.
And then we talking about Florida. Let's be real. The things they say about Florida, it's true.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, if you Google Florida man, just the two words, Florida man, and if that ain't enough, go ahead and Google Florida woman. I mean, the stories that you see.
That's crazy. But I'm telling you, one thing about Florida is this. Florida, I've never seen so many homeless people in shape. I've never seen so many fucking homeless people in shape in Seven. But that dog, all you can do is work out in the heat. Like,
try to forget that hunger, man.
And they might be fighting alligators and everything.
But dog,
you gonna eat tonight, son. Give me that machete. You about to go get this game.
Dog, they got the on the beach. They got the gym and shit,
Yeah,
right?
and they work
So
out.
you ain't got nothing else to do. You like, oh, you know what? You can work out at yo. I saw a bum nigga with a six pack. I was like, yeah, I felt the type of way.
The funniest thing that I see. So my daughter has the Ring doorbell, right? So on the Ring app, and she wanted me to tap into them. They have this thing called Neighbors, and so you can post. It's almost like social media, and you can post, things. You can post your video from your Ring doorbell onto the Neighbors portion of it. And people put out different alerts. The things that happen in Florida are just the most ridiculous ever. And then some of the people within the comments of it, like somebody was like, they shooting on such and such, and they put like the intersection, and people like were going in on them talk because it was fireworks apparently, and they were just going in on the people. And the stuff that they say to each other, it has me cracking up. It's like literally entertainment. And it's just like social media, and sometimes it may be even worse because like this one video, this lady showed up at somebody's door at 4 o'clock in the morning. She was drunk and delirious.
Oh, them drunk people in Florida.
But you're sitting on someone's front porch at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's not your people. Like, you don't know them. They don't know you at all. So I was like, she probably got drunk and like didn't realize where she was. No, she might have thought she was home. Like,
So,
she was drunk.
Yeah, they was drunk.
And she had she had a sweater. She had like a tank top on, but then the sweater over, and she just was crossing the sweater. She was just sitting there and talking and singing. I was like, oh.
So let me tell you about crazy. So that same night, me and Renegade, the other guys left. Me and Renegade went back to the club he performed. So we went back there, and we catch up to Half, who's the A&R for Def Jam. So we walk into the club. Migos is there. Well, Migos is coming, but they ain't got there yet. So they was charging niggas almost $150 at the door.
That's how they do.
And then a table sold for like $10,000. Migos came in, they ain't do nothing. All they did was just sit on the other side of the club.
Just because it's there. That's the reason.
But it was crazy. So it was standing room, it was breathing room only. Like, I was contemplating on standing in the bathroom all night. It was so crowded. So we were half, so we can get into the VIP section, but I'm standing in front of it, and Hef and I'm standing on stage, and Renegade standing. The fucking bouncer dude, he's cool. He's coked the fuck up. He's so coked up, like he's denying women on going in the VIP section. So Renegade's like, yo, you ain't gonna let her in? He was like, man, I live in my, I don't care about these bitches. I see pretty bitches all night, I don't care about that shit. He's dancing to the music, he's moving. He's like, yo, he be dancing, they go, where you going? Yo, and they're like, we going? Somebody here for you? Yo, he would just turn that shit. But then he's like, cool. So he told me, oh yeah, go back there. So he's like, you want to go back? Nah, I'm cool. I'm just chilling next to him because this shit funny. Like, what the fuck I need to go back? This is entertainment. This is more entertainment than these niggas playing the music. This thing is hilarious. He's like, yo, Migos song. He's like, yeah, this is the song I work out to all the time. Like, this nigga coke the fuck.
Security guard's bad name.
Yeah.
So he did, huh?
Yeah.
Nobody else. So you don't give security guards a bad name ever.
Hey, man.
Amen. The fact that you said amen, case book.
It was 9-on-1, man. I did what I had to do. Did what I had to do. It's all about survival.
Here you go.
So we're gonna play two videos. We're gonna play the Renegade performance joint, and then we're gonna play a Kezi video in the Go-Go joint.
Alright. Go-Go. Sent y'all a video. We're gonna talk about it today. I'm shocked you didn't mention it on your sports.
It's been a crazy week. I got to go back.
The Washington football team to dance.
Oh,
that they replaced the cheerleaders.
I'm not even.
We're not gonna talk about this.
You can discuss that. We can talk about that in the entertainment news section. I'm not even discussing
entertainment. We can't talk about this.
I'm not. Nah, that's not sports.
I said it's a ball.
But I said it's working.
Oh my God.
Stop it.
Remember, artists, we're giving away a free A3C performance live. If you don't know what A3C is, I need you to go do your research. It is one of the places that you definitely need to be in as an artist. So, like I said, we're giving away an A3C spot performance live. I'm picking an artist. If you're not here, when I say who I want to give it away to, when Media Bank says who we're giving it away to, I'm going to the next person. Not sorry. I'm just saying. So make sure you're in the building. All right. So I need y'all to start clapping it up. I need to see this energy because I got motherfucking Renegade coming to the fucking stage. Let's go.
Yep.
Chill with it. Don't worry, boy. Let's make some motherfucking noise in here. Let me see that you loud. We outside. We outside. Let's get it pumped, nigga. We gonna get some cranking in here. Hey, I'm out. Shout out to the DJ. What we gotta do, look, you heard what she said, right? Make sure you show love to the motherfucking DJ. He playing y'all shit. Make sure that shit right. Make sure y'all show love to every aspect to this rap shit. So what we gonna do? Let's go, y'all. I go by all to the E to the N to the E to the G to the A to the D to the E. All to the E to the N to the E to the G to the A to the D to the E. All to the E to the N to the E to the G to the A to the D to the E. All to the N to the E to the E to the G to the A to the... Turn that up for me. Turn that up. What? R to the E to the N to the E to the G to the A to the D to the E. We're gonna get it cranked up right now, alright? We're gonna turn up a little bit more. Just a little bit more. We outside! We outside! We outside!
Hey, Tony, you made this.
I've been asking where your bitch at? She on the phone, trying to figure out where to get lit at. You on your own, just no way with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that plan, this that get back. I'm alone. I've been asking where your bitch at? She on the phone, trying to figure out where to get lit at. You on your own, just no way with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that plan, this that get back. It's a different day, no it's same story, nigga. I've been winning retired like I'm Robert Horry, nigga. That's just stuff they know, but I'm here to make my story bigger. Keep it like the 4000. Always know I hate they Cooper. She ain't gonna get on my boat, that I'm gon' skip her and stuff. Getting out of line, better go get a pack a bag and book a flight. So they know I'm always tripping out the sky with the right. So they know I'm pimping. Well, I always say I got haters cause they just know I'm living where the mouth really came out. We just know I got a vision. The soul gotta stay young, so no product missing. Government want us to stay home, go broke for politicians. Had to carry that way, never dealt with opposition. My homie trying to beat the cake, we ain't no pot to piston. I'm trying to cop a bird, but he caught up with all the pictures. And I can never trust when ain't no level, you got them niggas right. I'm alone. I've been asking where your bitch at? She on the phone, trying to figure out where to get lit at. You on your own, just no way with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that plan and this that get back. I'm alone. I've been asking where your bitch at? She on the phone, trying to figure out where to get lit at. You on your own, just no way with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that plan and this that get back. It's a good action and to get rid of you. I'm all about my money, yeah, I'm speaking literal. I started this shit, I'm way too original. I got the game on lock, I call it figure soul. I bust to the next and I can't do no minimal. I'm speaking all these facts and I don't need no interlude. So fucking with my guns and you gon' end up killing food. You catching this heat just cause I in the mood. You talk about this shit, it's always been a move. As much as I ain't that, I ain't finna lose. You talking what your homies do, what you finna do. I'm over the cloud when my street has been approved. I'd rather be being a pussy or be the case. I'm running mixed cause I'm always brown with my ace. You never been about that, you see it on his face. Ain't never enough nigga that we could just get cause I'm alone. I've been asking where your bitch at? She on the phone, trying to figure out where to get lit at. You on your own, just no way with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that plan and this that get back. Nigga, really do everybody make a motherfucking noise, man. Get hype, we in Miami. We in Miami.
When I walk my ass shake, they want my Kit Kat. I need a break. He say I'm showing off. Yeah, I know. Shaking this fat ass in the go-go. He doing anything just to put me on. He gon' throw my name around in every song. I ain't got no drawers on, I hope they don't notice. You baby fitting the racks, you need a thong. I'm a boss bitch. Yeah, you know it. Leave a grown man in tears and take the keys to the Benz with my friends on the weekend. Sometimes on Wednesdays at the hookah lounge, blow it super loud, super duper proud. Kiss my ass and make me smile. Every time a nigga smell my pussy, he won't have a child. This is the cover song. Go ahead and show your thought. We gon' bring that money to the front because you're showing off.
Yeah, pretty much. In the go-go. In the go-go. How many kids did you have in the go-go, CP3?
Almost had like 3. Almost.
So you said that meant you had 4.
Nah, I was, we were supposed to get down, but things changed. She was throwing that booty all around somebody else.
Oh boy. Let me guess. You wasn't big.
So, do you prefer to have sex off of trap music or go-go?
Honestly, it depends on the mood. Most of the time, it'd be some chill R&B shit. But if I'm in that, if I had a couple dozen of oysters and some clams and I want to tear it down, so I'm gonna throw some southern rap on with that deep bass and that.
If you can see Lady Antina's face when you were there.
I remember that old Devin the Dude CD.
What? This is so
I used to fuck off of UGK, Devin the Dude.
Yeah, that's disturbing. But for real, the fact that you said oysters and clams would be what gets you there. I didn't expect that part.
Because
I thought that you were gonna say some type of drug or plant or that barley and rice and grain.
Nah, see, oysters. Yeah. That does play a role, but they say oysters and clams sometimes are aphrodisiac for some folks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but that would make you turn on.
You doing raw oysters?
Yeah, I can only eat them raw now. I'm so thinking I can't eat them cooked. They don't taste right. So raw oysters, yeah, I had it.
So you just be walking around here always in the mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I ain't ate none in a while. But when I had a girlfriend, me and my man, we used to go to the gym. And we went to the oyster bar one day. I had like 3 dozen oysters and 3 dozen clams. And I went home and I proceeded to fuck the shit out of my girl. She woke up the next morning and was like, "What was that?" I was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, started the oyster bar on the way home." She's like, "Well, at least next time, give me a heads up. My shit is so right." Oh, that shit right there.
I've never heard of that.
For real?
Not to that capacity.
Oh, yeah.
Saying, like, that made you go home.
That shit like, that put the chalk on the stick.
That fool said the chalk on the cue stick.
8 ball quarter pocket every time, man. You gonna hit that thing home.
You know what? So hold on. So you came all hyped up and try to break.
And some oysters.
And I went to work that day. So I loaded like 2 trailers. I hit the gym, played some ball, went to the oyster bar, had a couple of beers, had some oysters and clams.
Based off of what he said.
Were you drunk?
I know what you were.
Drunk. Part of me was drunk.
I will say that he got off early.
Oh yeah, we was out of there at 2 o'clock.
He got off pretty early.
We hit the gym about 3 or 4, stayed there till about 5.
And then hit the oyster bar.
To the oyster bar. Like, fuck it, let's do something different. Yeah, this old team when TNT used to be open, and they had the oyster bar.
And then you didn't even tell your unsuspecting mate, yo, I'm super good at home.
That shit actually got one. To this day, even though we ain't together, I guarantee you remember that day.
So you just came in, just pulled your dick out and just...
Nah. See, I laid low.
You didn't put it on the table?
Nah. I laid low. It was an elegant surprise. That's why I love the surprise. Because you get that, what the fuck are you doing to me? I love him. Having a flashback.
Yeah. He was like, yeah.
Did you say shut up, bitch?
Take this dick.
Did she say it to you? She said that.
Nobody's bitch.
Then here we go. Oh. Y'all. Laugh at you. Like his response, he just go laugh. Like this man right here is all crazy. After you just said,
I told you, man, 2 weeks weeks off the air, man.
Yeah, 2 weeks off the air don't excuse the fact that you just sat here and told your little story. You're gonna say y'all crazy.
Yeah.
I'm on the air with y'all.
Is it our fault that you do this shit? You didn't even know me back then.
We weren't even there, okay? How you gonna say y'all crazy? We didn't have you going to the gym, the oyster bar. We didn't tell you to go home.
Wait a minute. Hey, you put the liquor today.
Still y'all fault.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you don't drink all the Douce, so I mean, look at this. Come on, empty.
You didn't even share with Lady Antoinette. That's fucked up.
Not until after you had already poured it all into your cup.
Well, it was a clean cup. I hadn't had from you yet. That's why I offered.
Whatever. You was like, oh,
y'all ready?
You want some?
Here, you want to sip?
Right. Oh, late.
Y'all ready to hear this new song?
Yep. By who?
TJ May.
TJ May.
You know, our homie from New Zealand, her father sent it to us. Her father, they are very talented because it's the son sings as well. And I think I had a track with the son and the cousin. I think the cousin was playing like guitar on it as well.
We played that.
Yeah.
So his niece teaches very talented too. She's not going to be singing, but he's glad that her daughter got her back into music. And his son.
His son makes beats and he sings too.
Yeah, he's a 20-year-old guitarist, beat maker, sound engineer with son Faison. And he said the thing I told him.
You're giving me the runaround. You give me the runaround. I can feel it coming up. You can sing that same old song. The way you make me feel, just my soul on fire. I can't get away from the pain from you. You asked me to stay, but I can't. You know it's through. You're giving me the runaround. You keep on telling me. You say that things will be better, but somehow I don't agree. Ooh, you're putting me in this mood. You're taking my soul. You're giving me the runaround. You keep on telling me. Honestly, the truth will set you free. And take a piece of me. You know that it has to be. Ooh, give you the longest time to get your act together. You failed to see I gave you all of me. I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna head out the door. And when I'm gone, I'm not coming back no more. You're giving me the runaround. You keep on telling me. You say that things will be better, but somehow I don't agree. Ooh, you're putting me in this mood. You're taking my soul. You're giving me the runaround. You keep on telling me. Honestly, the truth will set you free. Ooh, I'm never gonna lose my soul. I know I'm gonna need it. It gives me peace of mind. It gets me through the hardest times. But I know I'm gonna make it. You're never gonna break me. You're giving me the runaround. You give me the runaround. You're giving me the runaround. You give me the runaround. You're giving me the runaround. run around.
She got one more. She said.
I gotta get a video and everything.
You can come talk to me any time of the day. I really wanna know your name. Your name. I just wanna get to know you. Get to know you proper. Get to know your name. So please let me explain myself to you. And it's clear to see we're building memories of good times that we used to be. I really wanna show how much you mean to me. So come on now, just wait and see. We're gonna rock this dance, honey. You make me feel like today's gotta be different from yesterday, and that's real. You and me, we're the key. We got a thing to do, and you can start by telling me your name. Your name. I just wanna get to know you. And I don't mind if you only have a minute. So pull up and come and talk with me. I just wanna get to know you. Get to know you proper. Get to know your name. So please let me explain. When I'm down on your love, I feel like the moonlight. I feel so cold. I need your touch. I can't calm down for your love. I just can't take this feeling no more. You make me feel so good. I just don't wanna lose you. I don't wanna come right down. I just wanna get to know you, and I don't mind if you only have a minute, but pull up and come and talk to me, yeah. I just wanna get to know you, get to know you proper, get to know your name. So please let me explain. Let me explain.
Yeah. She's dope. She's dope. She's dope. She is so dope. Man.
14 years old. That's crazy.
Man.
She should be America's Got Talent.
Right.
First track. I can see a video for that joint and everything. I can see a video for that joint. Second joint, night. I gotta get in the music management because she needs management.
Yo, first off, salute to our father Johnny. He's a big fan of the show. He always supports. You know, all the way from New Zealand. He gives more support from New Zealand than half these clowns out here.
You ain't never left.
And we want to say thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And then also, shout out to him for being such a big support of his family too.
That's very important. That is super important.
I love that. I admire the fact that he goes hard for his family. He's always promoting them, always singing their praises, and rightfully so because they're so talented. So we do appreciate you and your family for blessing us and the entire world with your talents.
You know, I have to get him on one of the video interviews or
Yeah,
something.
we gotta talk to you.
Yeah.
Maybe we gotta get out of New Zealand, huh?
I mean, I'm trying to do some traveling next year. I wouldn't mind. Don't look at me like that. You just gave me this glance like.
I mean, see, you
whatever.
gotta get a passport. I gotta get a passport too.
I got a passport. Mine ready.
I mean, we're not talking about your mugshot.
It don't take that. You know, you can have a
Ooh,
schedule-
oh,
right,
CP3
right.
going in today.
You know, you can schedule the appointment at the post office.
I know. I mean, I got the picture a couple of years ago because I was about to supposedly go out of the country, but
You better go to Africa.
shit here. Nah, where was I? I was about to go to Europe.
Try to find your
I'm about to say, who are you?
Some Russian woman.
Russian.
Wait.
I don't know why. I just
Back up.
where you
Okay, that's more
I'm
appropriate.
about to say, you just gave us, you went all night road just now.
Yeah, because Europe is a nice place for a gentleman like myself to go to. Yeah, I'm not a war baby. Yeah, I'm a war baby, so I looked that shit up.
War baby.
You know,
And so what's that mean to you?
You know what a war baby is.
No, tell me.
When the Negro soldiers back in the day were in the war, and they came across some nice European young women that wanted some chocolate in their lives, and they gave it to them. And let's just say they weren't around to raise the product of that encounter. And there's a lot of thicker white women over in Europe because they have some of the Negro tendencies in their DNA.
You know what?
What?
You know, you should be.
You wasn't even in the war.
You just go
babies walking around here. So what you talking about?
You go straight downhill off the break.
But Russia is quite unique. Because it's in two continents. So you gonna go on the Europe side, European side, you never gonna go on the Asian side.
I don't know. I ain't really had enough of it.
So
I just want to travel for real. I don't be good.
So-
I just want to travel. I just want to get out of the town.
So I watched the video of the Washington dance team.
Yes. What's your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
I think it's exploiting the culture.
I didn't even listen to the movie.
I didn't listen to them. I watched. I didn't listen to the music, but I saw the dude beating his feet and stuff like that. How do I say? No, wait a minute. It's at the bottom. Got it. It's very niggerish. So I said I got political tendencies. Like, wait a minute. I know what show I'm on. I don't have to
So
be.
you feel like it's real niggerish?
Yes, I do.
So like on that ratchet level.
Yeah.
I still feel like he was doing the funky chicken or some shit.
He was beating his feet.
He's beating his feet.
That's what that is.
I mean, but and granted, there may be some people in that culture, in the go-go culture, may think, oh, that's a good dance, a good move. Me, I'm gonna tell you like this: from a hip hop head, I hated when McDonald's started doing hip hop commercials, and they had chicken nugget wraps and shit like that. Like that was insulting to the culture that I embraced.
I mean, that's capitalism. That's what this country is about. They're gonna find a way. They're gonna find a way to make money off anything. They know if hip hop is something that's catchy that, like you say, the white folks are listening to in the suburbs. They're gonna use whatever tactics they can so they can make more money. They don't care who or what they exploit.
Right. Well, I will say this. I've been a Washington fan my whole life. And I will say that at every home game, at the end of the game, whether they lost, whether they won, the Washington football team has a band. They're one of the few football teams that have a band. And their band always plays go-go at the end of the game.
Did not know that.
Any home game. And
Chuck Brown and Eric.
Yeah, they are authentic and as authentic as they come. I know some people who have been members of that band and who have come from playing go-go. That's their roots. You know, those are their roots. So to play for a Washington football team, they would play go-go every home game. So I will say that go-go is ingrained in DC. It is now the official sound of DC. So with it being the official sound of DC now, I feel like that may have had a part of why they decided to do this. However, those gentlemen that were dancing, I feel like they were authentic, DC guys, or at least from the DMV. So let's broaden it. They could have come from Virginia, Northern Virginia, or Maryland as well. So I don't feel like it's not cultural appropriation if you're including. So they're trying to be inclusive. They're including the people who that's their. You can tell by the way the guys were dancing that this was not something that they just learned.
Yeah.
You can tell that. However, they were not the best at what they do. And when I watched it, and I even commented on the post was put up that I saw was put up by Washington. It was Washingtonian Probs. That's on Instagram. And I even commented. My comment was that they look like the guys that are on the Metro on the weekend that scream Showtime, and they're Metro performers and they dance for money. That's what they look like. Those guys are amateurs. No shade to the people who dance on Metro, but they're amateur performers. So we have a professional environment. So don't put amateur performers in that professional environment and expect us to be happy about it. I need to see something, and I said that. I said they look like Metro dancers, and they need work.
So, Lady Antoinette elegantly said what I said earlier. They look niggerish.
But I'm just saying, like, I feel like as a Washington football fan, as someone who
You want to see
was born in, let's just say, the heart of DC. I'm not gonna say y'all because y'all probably from there, but I was born in the heart of DC.
We can't judge.
So he trying to get me.
You know, there's something on the table.
I'm still working on it, But anyway, and I grew up on go-go, maybe not necessarily the newer forms of go-go with the bounce beat and all that stuff. But I grew up on go-go.
But you want to see a great presentation.
I feel like the idea was great, but then they kind of went wrong. And I think that the reason why they went wrong is because the idea was great. It was someone made a decision that has nothing to do with the culture.
Yes.
And so they started making decisions, and although they may have grabbed someone who was authentic to that culture, you didn't grab someone who was good at it,
True.
So I think that the idea was great. I don't like the fact that they got rid of the cheerleaders. Why is it that Washington football team has to get rid of the cheerleaders? I know some cheerleaders.
I do too.
And I felt some kind of way when they made that decision.
I bet you do. Do you want them to come cry on your shoulder, CP3?
I'm already on. But I mean, with the situation, the way it went down with the team getting fined and Snyder being basically suspended as athlete owner and GM,
and then having his wife step in and all that.
They just erring on the side of caution. They probably will have it again and say it was always going to be this way. But they're trying to be more inclusive and bring in more different types of, environment and different types of people around and show the diversity. And, like I said, I couldn't really watch it. I saw the video. I didn't start it. I didn't even know it was go being played. I just saw the radio with there. I think I'll pass.
Yeah, they were, and probably the part of the reason why you may not have immediately identified because they were beating their feet, but it was like more on the newer age of go-go, where I
I've
feel
heard that
like
phrase, but I've never done
right. So when you think about go-go, there are differences. Of course, like even with hip hop, things change over the years, and to try to put go-go um into the NFL and the NFL team and into a brand.
I think they're trying to get the fans back. 'Cause a lot of fans are frustrated.
Right,
So
but
they're
I'm
trying
gonna
to
be
reach
real
a
with you.
younger audience.
Why? Who decided to put that type of
They're reaching out to a younger audience. They lost a lot of fans because of the name change.
But
Because
they lost a lot
the
of their
product.
old fans.
Yeah, so they're trying to get the new fans that only know the team as a losing team, trying to get them, and at least get them entertained to the fact that the team is changing and hopefully the team starts winning. Along with they're trying to lure them in now and then put a good product on the field and the team wins. That cures all and you'll get fans. I just think it's just trying to reach out to get more fans back.
Right. Well, when it comes to go-go, you can select a style of go-go or a certain era of go-go where you'll be able to relate to all of the go-go fans versus only the young generation.
Well,
Like
let's
they
say-
chose a CCB song, and you could have easily chosen a backyard song, go
It's like
further
I say,
back, or a Chuck Brown.
The band plays older go-go, they dance to the newer go-go. So I think it's just a mix of the old and the new. But I mean, I love go-go too, but it trips me out with the way, DC folks look at go-go. I mean, I love go-go, go-go head. I listen to the new stuff like you said earlier. But like, well, another political thing, something I just think about the other day. This whole dope meet DC movement with the go-go and stuff. Now everybody got behind that and everybody's loving it and you see the signs and you see that stuff in the city. But why can't we have a don't shoot DC hashtag of people not killing each other for no fucking super reason, especially kids? Why can't we get behind that? I mean, that's all everybody eat go-go DC music and it's messed up and other people try to exploit it. Well, it's messed up when you got kids dying in the street and unnecessary gun violence. Why can't we rally behind that? I just wonder that going back to the adult DC. And that's one thing we haven't talked about since we've been around. The kids that's been getting killed and all of this gun violence is going on since things have opened up with this COVID situation. And it's a lot of young teenagers that's doing the violence right now. So it's mind blowing, mind boggling, frustrating, and a whole bunch of other things. But if we can get together behind a genre of music, why can't we get behind us stop killing each other?
Well, let me say something. And I got nothing wrong with the whole don't mute DC movie. The thing about that is that's a movement about music. Killings in DC's been going on for a long time. At one time, Southeast was like DC was a murder capital at one point. That was a long time.
No, it wasn't that long time.
About 20 years.
It was still the murder capital. Unfortunately, Chicago took over, but
Chicago and Baltimore both I think I beat them out.
maybe now. Baltimore wasn't for a while, but DC was the murder capital for far too long and much longer than a lot of people really think.
Okay.
And that's it.
So my whole thing is even with that is the equivalent. The people who say don't move DC, the people that are shooting kids, those people who are shooting kids don't care about music or anything.
You're absolutely right. I just had that conversation.
They don't have no value of anything. They're not valuing lives. There was a point in time when Marion Barry was when he was the mayor of DC, like he was. I don't care what they say about this man, but I remember growing up watching him on TV, walking in Southeast when there was shootings. I remember him going to candlelight, not doing press conferences, and from he was doing press conferences right there in the hood, and marching with people in the hood. And I think, not saying anything bad about Mary Beth because I don't have any issue with her, I ain't DC resident neither. When I did
With Muriel Bowser?
yeah. But I would say this: there needs to be a change where people, if you're not focused on these areas, you can't expect the people that live in there to show any type.
Absolutely.
You know.
So one thing I will say is that you're right when it comes to the people who said don't use DC are not the same people who were shooting. And I was just having that conversation with my grandmother. Okay, my grandmother, of course, obviously she came up in another time. She's frustrated because all these people are talking about Black Lives Matter, but then Black lives are fighting and shooting each other. And I said to her, I said, I need you to understand that the people who are marching, the people who are supporting the cause, who are truly supporting the cause, are not the same people that are shooting everyone. I said, you have to understand the Black Lives Matter movement, and then of course also the Don't Use DC movement, which is bigger than just the music. It's a cultural thing. They're
because
they're addressing.
I mean, it's the
gentrification.
It's the point that they're able to come together to get to have one unique voice and make change happen when they can do the same thing in these other events. I'm not saying that the people that's are the same people, but if they can do that to unite for music, we should do that to stop killing each other.
But that's a big stretch because fighting against the culture and fighting against the killer is something different. And the people that are killing the people who are doing the killing, the people that are from that area that you live in.
Yeah, just like we were speaking about when a white cop kills a black person, everybody's in outrage with a black person because a black person stop snitching. I'm not going to tell on my brother because of this and that. And we need and we decide to enforce these rules when it suits our thought process, and we don't draw a line in the sand and say, because it's about morals. It's about being a man or being a woman, and if you're going to stand up for something, if you're in outrage about a black person getting killed by a cop, you should be outraged when a black person gets killed by a black person.
Well, see, here's my problem, and this is the problem that we have as a culture. The Black Lives Matter movement, of the people who are pushing for these changes, there are two wars that they're dealing with. You're dealing with a war with everybody. You're dealing with everybody else outside of your group of people. So if you're saying Black Lives Matter, then that means that you're fighting for the cause for Black lives. So everyone who is against that cause, you're fighting with them. Okay. Then you're also having an internal war. And so the problem is that unfortunately, of course, we've heard this phrase many times before. A previous president, of course, it wasn't a black one, but the previous president has always said, united we stand, divided we fall. That's very true. Because when the black community can't get it together and can't group together and actually make a stand, we're going to fall. We're going to continue to fall. We're not going to make any movements. Because if you sit back and think about it, the anti-Asian hate bill was passed.
Yeah.
It wasn't don't lynch Asians, but you can do everything else. It wasn't don't shoot Asians, but you can do everything else. No, it was a whole thing. Anti-Asian hate. Anything that is hateful towards the Asian population, they have a bill for that. Now, people were talking about the anti-lynching and things like that. I'm against it. Real talk, the anti-lynching, no, it needs to be included in something that's broader.
Yeah.
We need to have the same thing that was placed in the anti-Asian hate bill because it's a broader aspect. Anything that is hateful towards a black person, that needs to be included. That needs to be addressed, not just one thing. So, unfortunately, we can't get it together because, of course, we keep giving them ammunition. We're giving them the ammunition to say, "Oh, well, you guys kill each other."
Right.
So you're talking about Black lives, but black people don't think. Not to admit, they're trying to dismiss the fact that killing us is wrong. They're dismissing it because they're like, "Well, you guys are killing each other as well." So they're making it seem like it's okay. Right. It's okay that police are killing you guys. It's okay that people are civilians are killing you as well. It's okay that we're hateful to you or call the police police on you for absolutely nothing, or just call you out of your name because you use it. You use that word. You're killing each other. So because of that, we're giving them ammunition. They see our struggle. It's not a secret. It is televised. They see our struggle. They see that there are internal problems. Sometimes they fuel those internal problems. They like it. They want us to fight amongst each other.
And sometimes we allow them to.
The worst thing in the world, and of course, this dates back at least until slavery, maybe even further back. But for our people, they're going to separate us. They do not want us to congregate together. They do not want us to be. That's why they separated families. That's why they separated tribes. That's why they did these things, because there's strength in numbers and they know this. So with that said, we going around killing each other, and this is a show that our core is often hip hop. And we heard of this mythical meeting years ago. Probably did happen, but there's nothing on paper to say that this meeting happened amongst record executives and different members of the hip hop community came all together, and the executives, and they had prison executives, people who run prisons. They had all the money makers for that come together, and the agenda was to start promoting a certain lifestyle in hip hop. That's when hip hop took a turn, promoting the lifestyle of killing, drug dealing, pimping, taking drugs, drinking, spending your money on frivolous things. All of these things were promoted and made to look cool. And the claim was that this was all decided in a meeting. Why? Because they wanted the Black community to fail. They wanted the Black community to view these things so they can participate in these things. These are cool. So I'm going to start doing it too. Then you're going to start filling the prisons. Because let's be real, slavery is not technically illegal. If you get arrested and you're in jail, and that's slavery. That's when it's legal. So all of these things, this is what the claim was. And the claim is believable because we've seen tactics taken to separate the Black community. I'm sorry, I was on my soapbox.
I mean, the sad thing is that we're easily divided. And it's easy to divide and to, not saying that, it has its value. We've seen, like I said, the government come in and circumvent groups that were on the positive and insert people to start stuff and to investigate and to try to disassemble from the inside. But until we as a people can learn that to make ourselves great, we don't have to put down our own people, try to tear them down or disregard whatever accomplishments that they accomplished. You have that same ability. So there's no reason to hate. Take that energy that you're hating with, putting it behind whatever you have your passion about so you can be great. And unfortunately, we don't have encouragement in that aspect from, some of the elders. That's why I try to volunteer with some of the mentors, with some of the groups, Boys and Girls Club or Boy Scouts, trying to help with the Girl Scouts with my nieces and stuff. Because if no one's teaching them this stuff and no one's instilling these values in them, we can't be mad at them if they don't have them when they get into their adult ages and are doing some of the dumb things that they're doing. So it's us as the people that have to make a stand to make a change. Granted, yeah, the tables is tilted, shit is fucked up. We're a threat, perceived threat in any situation, hands in the air, hands on the steering wheel. You tell them you got a weapon and it's legal to have it, you're still, a target. But knowing that should be to your advantage, not your disadvantage, because knowledge is the key. So if you know you're a perceived threat, don't antagonize the situation. Don't start to argue and cussing and fussing before you know what's going on. Get the information, because when you're on the scene and you're against the cop, you're always going to be wrong, no matter what, because the cop is always going to be looked at in the right. So, I've said this before and I say it again. I just had a partner this with this. Do not argue with these folks. Get their badge number. Take your ticket. Ask them what district they belong to. Call and file charge against them if they mistreated you, treated you wrongly, harassment, profiling, whatever it was. File a grievance. It goes in their file. You have a little hearing. You go to it. Plead your case. You might think it means nothing, but let's just say I had a situation where I had to file charges on the cop. And if I didn't, and he caught me in another situation that I was in after we went for our hearing, yeah, things would have probably been different. But because I did what I did, even though I was in the wrong, I was able to, still be a free man. So, I mean, it's just frustrating to see. We know the issue. We know it's some bad cops out there, but it's some good cops out there. But if you approach the same attitude with every cop of every situation you're in, then you're just as bad as they are because you're profiling them the way they're profiling us. It makes you a hypocrite for the argument that you're trying to have. But you got to take a step back and realize that. And I've been talking to a lot of different people, being in the profession I'm in now. I've talked to a lot of different people in different walks of life, different age groups and everything. And it's just amazing, the thought process of this younger generation. They don't think past today. It's like a knee-jerk reaction and whatever goes on, they don't take a step back and think about the situation before they act on it. And it's not just the younger generation. I know some folks might even still do this. But until we can hold ourselves accountable and figure out a way to circumvent all the bullshit we know that's out there, because it can be done. We've seen some folks that be able to use the system and learn how to navigate through it and become successful. Bitching and complaining and moaning, cussing and fussing ain't gonna get it done. Sometimes you gotta work within the system to beat the system. And you gotta start using our brain that way. You gotta start using our common sense that way. We all got smartphones in our pocket. And we can Google and look up any and everything that we wanted to know about anything. And what you looking at? Twerk video. Dumbass me.
That's what you be looking at.
No, I don't like twerk videos. I want to fuck the bitch just twerk.
You know what?
She probably got a boyfriend. But
You know what?
He was going so good.
She diverted me.
No, I'm saying like you be looking at them. I see you looking at some twerk videos before.
That's because they got ass on screen on this twerk.
Oh, okay. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. My bad. Okay, my bad.
But yeah,
He was going so good.
I'm just saying, because we all watch videos, we all watch different shit, but you can do what you choose to do with your life. And I've been going through a lot of shit lately. And 151, like I said, we talked a lot. I appreciate the moments of clarity you give me because I get in my head sometimes. But you can only control what you can control. And if you want to make a change, only you can make that change and make it happen. You can dwell in the situation and get pissed off about what's going on, or you can get to it and do what you can do to control the situation to make it better. And, I did what I had to do. I hit my goal. I got a big, crazy situation going on in my life right now, but I made a move. I did what I had to do, and I'm able to, move forward. I might take a loss on some short shit, on some dumb shit, but I found a way to make it happen. And, if I can do it, and all the shit I was going through in my brain and the way I overthink things, anybody can do that shit.
Well, a lot of people don't have the brotherhood or the mentorship.
Yeah.
To help pull them through stuff. One thing I always loved about, and I always gonna bring him up, is about GOP was me and him had a real great brotherhood. He was one of my biggest fans as far as if I was about to do something or start something, and when you have that type of energy, it just makes you go further, and it makes you help, and it helps out. To have people that believe in you. So a lot of them don't. That's why a lot of the youth are lost because they don't have brotherhood and companionship and shit. They don't even got fatherhood. Like they don't have nobody to teach them. A lot of them don't even know how to be a man.
Right.
And some of these dudes in their 30s running around still being little boys because no one in their life has stepped to them and be a man And then when they confronted by a real man, they don't know what the fuck to do.
That's where they fuck up. Because they don't know that they fucking up because no one has told them. And they complain about it all the time. But then when someone tries to point out that, they get defensive and don't want to fucking listen. So you gotta be receptive. Yeah, but you gotta be. If you want to make change happen. I guess that's what I'm saying. You can't complain about shit being fucked up, but don't want to do anything to change it.
Yeah.
That's what I guess frustrates me the most. They hear folks complain and whine, and they have the power to change their life. They just, first of all, they don't, like you say, they don't think they can change their life because they caught up in the cycle of bullshit. But they don't want to change it because they just want to sit there and whine and complain.
Yeah.
And they feel that's more, productive than actually doing something about it. So
they're not looking for results.
yeah, they're just looking for pity or just looking to whine and complain, so they don't have to give any effort to do anything else because I'm already. You put speaking into existence, you're already defeated yourself. So I mean, like I said, I've been going through a lot of shit, and I got a lot of folks. Like you said, I got people in my corner that's been encouraging me and helping me through. But at the end of the day, it's all about you. Like my mentor manager said, I didn't do nothing to get you no sales and made you feel something that you were before you went to the restaurant. You did. So you got to figure out, what you need to do to get back to that. And I had to do that, and I did. I was stuck on a certain number for like 2 weeks and in danger of not getting my check. And the last 2 days of the month, I got 4 sales and made sure I got my check.
Amen.
Because I was, focused. I worried about what I could control, and I stopped overthinking things and did what I was supposed to do. So it's just about focusing, stay focused, and don't let the outside obstacles and other BS in life, sidetrack you from chasing your dream, because chasing your goals, because that's what life is. It's just trying to distract you from doing what you want to do and doing what you have to do. And just got to stay focused, man. That's one of the things I'm still working on. So,
I mean, what people don't realize is that you could be one positive comment away from changing a person's life and a perspective.
That's true.
I'll say it again. You could be one positive comment away from changing a person's life and perspective. That little push can set somebody in the right direction so fast. But the flip side is, you could be one negative comment away from sending somebody down the wrong path. I always speak realness and speak truth. When my brother was in school, his biggest goal, he was an exceptional football player. He wanted to go to the NFL. He had a teacher. His teacher said, your chances of going to the NFL, my brother had good grades. He was in the top of the line classes. He told him, well, your chances of getting the NFL are 1 in a million. You shouldn't even waste your time doing that. So that teacher, really that teacher should be jailed or should never be able to teach again. But that teacher set my brother on a path that would change his life for the next 20 years of going into a system. When he said that, my brother gave up his dream because he done crushed his dream. So he gave up his dream and started hitting the streets and started hustling. You see, now just imagine if that comment would have went the other way.
Right, but you could have started with 1 in a million. But if you work hard, aim for, you could still tell them it's 1 in a million, but you could still take that and motivate a kid.
I mean, with that situation, I don't understand what the coach said, because if he was doing well in school, then
it wasn't the coach, it was the teacher.
Oh, the teacher. So, because on one side of it, I tell some players that I talk to that's in high school, the chance of you making it to the pros is slim.
Yeah.
Because out of all the college players, only 12% actually make the NFL. So if they're not doing well in school, I let them know that, like, look, you're getting a scholarship, but make sure you hit the books because you want to have a backup plan just in case you don't make the pros and you don't want to be
but you're still motivated to move forward.
But here's the thing. Had he not shitted on his dream, he could have encouraged him to went to college.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He could have, you may not make the pros, but if you do, but you make it a free education at college. Or you may find something, like, it's just a way to flip it.
Yeah,
but when you take all, when you pull the,
so you might as well give up? What?
If you pull the chair out underneath the onion, if I hit the floor, you can't expect me not to be mad.
he said fucked up with it. But I mean, I shine a light on folks. It could be, like I say, it's the reality of it. So make sure you take advantage of the situation. That's my message to any other young players going into college that I talk to. Just take advantage of the situation. I know you got the goals, the dream to make it to the pros, but if it doesn't, you want to have something to have in your back pocket just in case that dream doesn't come true.
So Johnny sent me one more song. We gonna play one more song.
Oh, he sent another
He
one?
sent
Yeah,
another.
I've been good. He told me, said he puts it on.
Top down, let's go right now, you know. Baby, light it up and let it blow. Top down, let's go right now, you know. Baby, light it up and let it blow. 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 Girl, are you down? Can I come round? I just got back to town. I missed your presence and I want it now. I know you feel the same way when you're around. You know that I've always loved you, despite the shit we gave each other. Cause everybody makes mistakes sometimes. All it takes is a little space. But now I'm back and girl, I want you. The love and feelings never change. And I know that it's been a long time, but I'll never forget what you said. You told me that you were my babies. Well, that's the reason that I'm saving myself for you. Top down, let's go, let's ride. Top down, let's go right now, you know. Baby, light it up and let it blow. Top down, let's go right now, you know. Baby, light it up and let it blow.
If you get a drunk
That's another banger, man. That talented family, bro. Definitely got to find a way to get them on.
Yeah.
Maybe even sign to a contract.
CP3, I can see you sending some. God dang.
See what I'm saying? I'm over here risking my life over. I'm gonna pull out next. Man, pull out a M16 collapsible.
Don't do me like that. Look what I got.
And my folks at Mont said he appreciate the invite. He enjoyed himself. I'm gonna tell everybody about the show and then we'll be back to help support.
Yeah,
Thanks,
definitely.
Lamont. Shout out to you.
Shout out to Mr. Lamont. He
Definitely.
he actually supplied the liquor for the show today.
Liquor and some beer.
And some beer. And then he was trying to get some more. I was like, no, you good. You get me beer. He was like, no, I was like, no, we good.
Thank you.
So
like, you sure?
Daughter gonna be sending out of him too. So yeah, good deal.
All right, Mr. Lamont.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So,
Shout out to him.
well, one thing is, when and this is what I like about CP3. When you tell CP3 certain things, he listens. So when he gets frustrated and then you get him to listen and he changes energy, he attracts the right people. And that guy, great. First of all, just to pop in, and he stayed for a really long. He even we were talking to Go Villain, he even chimed in on that. Giving his wisdom, and he wasn't even afraid to share to somebody he don't even know.
Right.
It's just funny how you meet certain people when you attract the right people in your life. And his mentality is really fucking phenomenal. Great.
Right.
His energy is just,
And you know what you said is true about CP3 and his temperament and demeanor and how it attracts certain people. Because when he wasn't,
Angry black man.
when he was like angry black man, or no, like just in more recent times, CP3 wasn't on the higher frequency that he's on now. He attracted
Thoughts.
no, he attracted somebody. We didn't talk about it off air, but you attracted somebody who was just woo, and I was like, what is going on? Am I being punked? Let's talk about that later.
Ooh. I want to know about
No,
that.
you was here.
I was here.
You attracted somebody that we did not. None of us vibed. You not attracted as romantically, but I mean like you connected with somebody that we were all looking at you.
With rainbows involved?
Me, 151, and Renegade looked at you like, bruh. We didn't talk about that all day.
Renegade, that was really recent.
Yes, it was.
Oh, I know who that is.
I can tell, like that's what he said was true. When you are operating on a higher frequency, you have this energy where you're bringing in, positive people. Your vibes are positive, and they're bringing in positive vibes. But when you're on a slightly lower frequency, you draw in strange situations.
Yes, that's the balance I talk about with me being the man I'm trying to be now in my past. Some folks say, you should try to, you shouldn't change who you are, but when I go through my trying to find my balance, sometimes I creep a little bit too much into my past, and then that's when those past tendencies start to creep into my
One thing I'll tell you like
No,
this.
I don't think this is what you talk. I'm not even talking about romantically.
Nah.
So this is not what you thinking.
So one thing I'll tell you like this.
You know what I'm talking
about. CP3. One of the things is, and we'll talk about this off air. But one of the things is, what did I tell? If I'm drowning, how am I tell you to swim? And you had a situation where this motherfucker was drowning. But yeah, he was trying to tell you how to swim to get there.
Yeah. And y'all, and it was trying to befriend you,
and you were helping a person who's literally knee deep in neck deep in water.
They wasn't even on this planet.
No, I mean some people I just let them talk their shit. I mean some people just
No.
But however,
No. But we talking about like personalized, like you were trying to help somebody, and I get what you were doing, but at the same time, that wasn't the dude to help.
You can't. What I told Go Villain. Shout out to Mr. Villain, Go Villain. We talked to him before the show.
Everybody needs help in some aspect because people say they don't need help and don't give the effort, but
No,
like you say that one word or that one phrase might give them perspective, might be that
That's true.
time. So that's why I always take the time, because if they didn't take the time, certain people, because I was fucked. I was fucked up, and people still took the time.
But
I don't try to.
But at the same time, though, when you trying to balance yourself, and you trying to pull somebody, and you trying to balance, you on that like that little seesaw thing.
They have to have some effort to get themselves upright too, so that y'all can work as a team.
Yeah.
And if I don't see the effort, then I stop talking.
I hope that's what is going on now, because we're gonna talk off air, because I kind of want to follow up.
That's the situation then.
Okay, because I wanted to follow up on that to make sure that. Whew.
No, you're talking about. I know. That's not what the dude.
He's straight.
He's straight. Like I say, that aspect was just what it was. But in the other aspect,
But I was talking about your vibes, your energy levels.
He looked out for me, so I was like, come on through, boom. But that's just who I am. If you look out for me, whatever, I listen to your bullshit.
Well, I'm talking about the people that flock to you based off of your energy. You can tell what energy, what level you were on based off of who flocks to you or who assists you and tries to befriend you. So that you could look at that as a gift too, because
people relate. I mean, people relate to me. People connect to me. All different walks of life. So as I say, I just listen. Bring them around, try to encourage them. Let them know if I think they crazy or whatever, just let them get it off their chest, you know, boom. I ain't gonna judge you. Some of the stuff that I say people think is crazy. I believe it. I got my thoughts behind it, what I believe. So I mean, that's why I just be like, fuck it, man. It's just like with religion. Everybody has their claim on what they think it is. I just, everybody believes what they believe. Whatever helps you be a better person, it helps you be live a good life, man. Do it. Fuck it. As long as it ain't hurting nobody.
So CB3, you done had some Douce, you had some of that scotch, you was sipping beers. So the audience wants to know, how you spending $40?
Can't afford to, baby. I get my shit.
Oh.
He gonna spend that $40. It's gonna be an hour.
Wait a minute. I thought you wanted your rant today.
Hmm?
Your Walmart rant.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what's wrong with Walmart?
All right, hold on.
Damn.
Cause I want to discuss a video that I sent y'all to.
All right. If anyone is thinking about getting,
we're never gonna get sponsored by Walmart after this conversation.
We were never going to do that. Bullshit they put on my family. Fuck Walmart.
Not just your family members. I've seen some stuff.
Mm-hmm. If you are thinking about getting a Walmart green dot card, prepaid, don't do it. Because these punks, some of them bitches, they took my money hostage on some bullshit and keep talking in circles. Talking about fraud on my direct deposits. Direct deposits that I've been receiving for the last 10 months from the same job on a weekly basis. And all of a sudden now, they're trying to talk about it was flagged for fraud. Then when I sent them what they asked me to send them, a picture of my ID, front and back, a picture of me holding my ID, and a picture of my debit card, they tell me that's not valid. Can't tell me why it's not valid. I said transfer me to the investigation department. Or we're not previews at that department. So you trying to tell me you holding my money, can't tell me why. And when I ask you, how can I get my money back? You tell me to call, get my payroll person to call, and they'll know what to do and we'll get it all figured out. So yeah, I followed the system, get my payroll person to call. We're on the phone for an hour and a fucking half. And we're getting the same fucking runaround. They actually asked my payroll person to send them every single direct deposit they've sent me since I started working.
Oh, that's nice. So all your pay stubs.
All my pay stubs. Then they said that the pay stubs that got so-called flagged were from the 23rd and the 30th of June. So they said after they go through after we have to physically mail them, because we can't email or fax them.
Oh my God.
After we physically mail them, it takes 5 to 7 business days to get to California. And then in 3 to 5 business days, after they review the direct deposit that they sent me, that I sent them, they will release the 2 deposits that drew the flag. And we asked them, so what about the rest of the money in my account? Because those 2 deposits are going to add up to what's in my account. They tell me some bullshit about this policy that they send the funds to the state because it could be possible fraud. Now I go through my user agreement.
No, that's not true.
I know, because I went through the user agreement and said nothing about that bullshit. But they have an arbitration process, which I would be fine for. But I found out when I called my sister, who has my connection with lawyers, that they got her a couple of years ago for about $1,500 on some dumb shit she was doing, some stuff that she shouldn't have been doing. She really didn't fight it, but everything on my card is legit. This is my hard-earned money. Everything that I have to my name right now is in that account. And these motherfuckers are holding it hostage. If I talk to one more call center representative that tells me sorry for the inconvenience, I'm going to find out where y'all fucking look in Dubai or Bombay or wherever the fuck y'all are. And we're going to have a situation. We're going to have a talk. But right now, I'm reaching out to all of my sources that I have legally. I might even reach out to 7 on the side. Because apparently there's been a trend with this company. So if you're thinking about getting a prepaid card, if you're on hard luck, because that's why I had to get it after I filed bankruptcy. Couldn't get a bank account, so I had to open up this thing, thinking everything was good. It's been 4 years, I've had no issues, and all of a sudden, they hit me with this bullshit. So, if you're thinking of getting one, don't do it. Fuck Walmart. Fuck Green Dot. And if y'all going to sponsor us, fuck you anyway. And I'm out.
All right. Well.
Anything else you want to say real quick?
Hail to the Washington football.
That's all the F-bombs.
Yeah, didn't hit on a positive note.
He said, he thinking about more? Oh, okay, there you go. Amen. So, I'm hoping that my lovely co-host saw the um, things that I said though in reference to Lil Nas X.
I didn't get a chance to watch the video.
Lil Nas X. I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. He is actually a talented young man. But then you got all this other stuff that surrounds him, controversy. Did you watch it?
Where did you send it at?
I think I sent it on your IG. Yeah. Lil Nas X. I think I purposed.
What day was it? What day was it? What day was it?
No, bro, don't.
Is it the one when the
jail?
Yeah.
No, but if you look on that post, you can swipe it and you can kind of look at it. No. It's not just that scene.
That first scene was enough. The fact that he's walking down the prison walkway with a half cut off trip. Then they swing to the shower scene there, dancing with no clothes on. They had it blurred out.
So, okay, for those who don't know, Lil Nas X dropped a new video. We all know that he has had a lot of controversy, especially from that one video where he was
lap dancing the devil.
Remember, he took a stripper pole to hell and then performed for the devil and gave him a lap dance. It was kind of weird. And I'm not saying that because,
and then he had the satanic Nikes.
Right. He had the Nikes with the blood in it. He's had a lot of controversy. It's not necessarily just because of his lifestyle as far as him being homosexual. It's not necessarily all because of that. Some of it is looked at as demonic, and really what he's doing, he was trying to troll the religious, I guess, leaders that were lashing out against him. First he really came to fame with his Old Town Road song, which got on my nerves. The little kids had that as their graduation song. What was that, 2019?
Yeah.
It was like everywhere. And then he had Billy Ray Cyrus, which is really cool. The concept is cool. The song just got on my nerves. So a lot of kids were fans of his. And so think about this. The kids are his fans, right? And he comes out as gay. So a lot of people, we're still okay with him in general. A lot of, like I said, with religious leaders saying you're going to hell, that's the devil and blah, blah, blah. So, of course, he took that and decided he wanted to troll them. Okay? In that process, that's where we got that one video when he was taking the stripper pole down the hill and lap dancing with the devil. So, problem is that a lot of kids were his fans, and then the parents didn't really quite get the heads up from him to let them know, hey, I'm about to start releasing some stuff that your kids probably shouldn't watch. I have family members whose kids saw that video and was like, wait, what?
I mean, the crazy thing about that is that his defense is like, oh, well, I let my niece watch it and she thought it was fine and this, and she was young. And
well, he has a new defense.
What's the new defense?
Based off of this new video, some people had said some things, and one of his responses was, can I just be a slut in peace? And shout out to your 2-year-old though. Thanks for being a fan. Because a guy was like, my 2-year-old watches you, man. As far as like him.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand that there may possibly be a social responsibility.
He doesn't. He wants to be a victim. So one is taken like this. Let's break down the name. Lil Nas. Okay. The name Nas itself comes from the Quran, and so it's sacred for two people for two reasons for most of us. One, Nas is a great rapper, who embodied hip hop. And then it was on Nas's album when he says, I know somebody named Anissa, and he's like, Nas, man, Nisa, woman, and that's what and he broke down those names. So when you take a name like that, and then do these type of actions, you're not only spinning the face of hip hop, you spin the face of religion. But then you can't spin the face of religion and then don't think they'll come for you. So some of these things you do to yourself. And he likes being a troll. But the thing about it is though, everybody likes being a troll until somebody hits you so hard that you like, well, what I do.
And that's kind of where he is. Like he's like, well, this and that. He does things for shock value.
Yeah, I mean, it was. And we take it back to Tekashi 6ix9ine, who just performed, unfortunately, in Manassas last week. He got music.
Snitches get stitches.
But
wind up at ditches.
It was cool for him to be a troll until he got kidnapped. Right before everybody got locked up, he was when he was telling people, man, I tell people to suck my dick. Ain't nobody gonna touch me. Ain't nobody gonna do this. You know who touched him? His own security. His own peoples. And then he ratted on him. But the thing about that is it was cool until he got touched. And then when he got touched, the only reason he's sticking his chest out now is because the niggas that touched him is in jail.
But he still pretends like he's not gonna get touched. And I'm like,
he gonna get touched again.
Bro, somebody's gonna come for you.
He gonna get touched again. But that. But that's kind of what Lil Nas. They think it's cute to be trolled. But keep in mind, there's some people you control that don't do nothing. Obviously, y'all have never read the 48 Laws of Power. Obviously, y'all have no true meaning. Y'all don't. When y'all think Machiavelli, y'all think Tupac, and really you should be thinking the book called The Prince. And it tells you, it describes certain people, and the 48 Laws of Power will describe. There are certain people that you troll them too hard. They will. You can troll them and you can cheat them out of $1 million, but they can have 100 million. They will spend 80 of that 100 million just to punish you off of GP.
Yeah.
And when you're trolling these people, there are people gonna come for you.
Yeah.
And when you keep poking, I keep telling, don't poke the bear if you ain't ready for it.
But see, one thing with Lil Nas X, the people that he tries to troll are considered peaceful people, so they're not gonna come at him like Tekashi 6ix9ine. But he does things for shock value, and I feel like he needs to be careful because now it's gonna be like a gimmick. I mean, he's a talented individual, but that's not. Now he's at the point where that's not what you're gonna be known for.
But the thing about it is like what the baby's going through right now, what Tory Lanez went through. Like they can love you, but they can love you right now. They can hate you tomorrow.
Yep. Really quickly, especially when you keep trying to make your social media presence so strong, that means everything you do is going to be dissected. Everything that you do is. Now, I will say, in the LGBTQ community, a lot of people are praising him because he's standing up for himself, and blah blah blah, and representation.
So trolling, but trolling religion ain't standing up for yourself.
I mean, to the LGBTQ community, sometimes it is.
But if I troll them, I'd be considered something totally different.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's why they say that. So, I first of all, when it comes to the standards as far as the LGBTQ community, I feel like there are times where it is a double standard. I don't agree with that at all. You can live your life how you choose, but I feel like that community tends to impose on others when they don't want to be imposed on themselves. You see what I'm saying? So I don't like that. However, with Lil Nas X, my concern is with him as an artist. You have talent. Like when you look at this video or not look at the video, it's because of the content. You don't hear anything about the song.
I didn't even make it to the song. When you sent that to me, I think I deleted it. That's why I can't find it. I was like, oh no. quick.
And then
And I think it's a song with Jack Hollow, who's a dope rapper as well.
Yeah, well, he was in that song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't even make it.
A lot of people were talking about his part was really good. So it kind of messed him up too, because if you have a really good, like we were talking about, Go Villain.
Yes.
If you have a really good verse on a song that has all this other negativity around it, where does that leave you?
Yeah,
as the guest on this track.
It leaves you in the midst of that shit pop.
But the song is really, if you listen to the song.
Can't.
That's my thing. If you just listen, not watch the video, if you listen, not just watch the video, you'll be like, okay, well, the beat is good, blah, 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 blah. But a lot of people can't get to that point. And so that's what I'm saying. As an artist, it's going to hurt you. When you think of Old Town Road, that crossed boundaries.
It did.
That crossed so many boundaries.
I thought the video should have been more simple, and they this is my personal belief.
Well, he's extra in all of his videos, obviously, as
Yeah.
we see. So Old Town Road, we might have thought it was a little, extra, but apparently it wasn't extra enough. Because, like I said, I feel like he's a great artist. First of all, as an artist, we don't have to know who you're sleeping with.
We shouldn't care.
But that's my thing. We don't have to. That's not information you have to share. And then that's not something that you have to share all the time. For heterosexual artists, you don't always hear them rapping about their sex life. Do you not have anything else to talk about?
Unless you're CP3.
But he had another album that I thought was really good. He was in a white suit. I can't remember. That was in between these two really shocking ones. But I feel like he's a creative. He's very creative. And you can see that in his albums as well. I mean his videos as well. But it's just when he's doing that shock value thing,
it's not good.
It might be a little too much, and you got to be careful with stuff like that because you can hurt your career. So I'm concerned about him. I mean, the boy. First of all, the boy lost anyway. We already knew that.
Yeah.
But I know I'm not saying that because he's homosexual. The boy is lost in general because you care too much about what other people think of you to the point where you're lashing out.
I mean, honestly, I view him the same way as I view like Tekashi 6ix9ine. They're annoying. I don't even.
And that's sad that he has come to that point because he has more talent.
He has way more talent
than Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Old Town Road, like was a dope song.
Yeah.
And like I can't even remember none of Tekashi songs. To be honest with you, because he be having these weird ass things.
Tekashi could never get to the status that Old Town Road got to. Tekashi could never.
His songs have done some quite numbers. His videos have done numbers.
But not Old Town Road.
But Old Town Road was literally everywhere.
That crossed so
many.
Yeah. Yes. Tekashi can't do that.
Yeah.
And so I can't even, get past that. I'm trying to find out the name of that song.
Well, while you look for that,
Sun Goes Down.
Never heard it.
That was dropped exactly because he has so much negativity around himself, and all these battles and wars and how he's trying to troll people even within his videos. But Sun Goes Down, that was released in May. It was it was, to me, I felt like it's a very short video. The video was 2 minutes and 53 seconds versus them other
epic video.
Yeah, it's a whole minute longer. It's like the one video you should have made longer. You know, I don't know. But I just pray this man.
My phone just dropped. It's like dropped. It jumped.
And it says, so 4 hours ago, Lil Nas X celebrates his first YouTube video with 1 million dislikes. Come on now. You got people trying to get the likes.
Here's the thing about that. So when we're trolling, you know, it's that he's saying he's living under the model. There's no such thing as bad press. However, this culture has a 5 minute, like when they will turn your back on you, they will turn their back on you real quick. A lot of people that was hot 2 years ago, we don't even talk about now. There's a lot of people that was hot 5 years ago, we don't talk about now. You know, shit. You lucky to be in this game for 10 years at this point.
Yeah.
If you make it, if you make it to have 3 albums in 10 years, nigga, you's a super OG. You know,
And so the name of the new song is Industry Baby. And the one where he was pole dancing down to hell was Montero, Call Me By Your Name. And then the one that seemed really, I guess you would say, vanilla was Sun Goes Down. And that was shorter than either of the other two.
Yeah. So let me
Montero, Call Me By Your Name was shorter. I thought that one was too long.
Let's just go to craziness. So let me tell you what happened this weekend. I went to the DMV MV Fest. So that call started with I was laying in bed trying to get some sleep because Renegade decided to bring me my camera at 2:00 in the morning. So trying to go back to sleep, you know. By the time I go back to sleep, I wake up, my man George calls me, what time you getting here? I don't know. Oh, I need you down here at 1:00. I need you to work the door. Show starts at 2, by the way. So gotta get dressed, go down there. We was at Club Karma, we held the Titan Arts Awards there, so it's a decent size, nice. But we're outside.
Okay.
Shout out to Eric Husa. I'm gonna post their pics later, but they got some new merchandise. I actually we was having an all white party afterwards. So I went to I was talking to Asaf from Eric Husa, and his he had these newer shirts with this lion on it. I thought it was dope, and so I was like, oh. So I got a color one, but then I saw an all white one. I said, well, if I'm going to a party, let me get that one. And I got an Eric Husa hat, but I gotta trade that in because for some reason I thought my head wasn't small, and it's definitely not. It's definitely not. That shit gave me a headache. Felt like a nigga was just squeezing my brain. So went and did that, and then afterwards we Go Villain performed.
Okay.
Warfare J, we interviewed him. He performed, and some other people. So
My fault. There's a Facebook friend, Redskin fan, but watching football team fan. It was just their birthday the other day, and I was scrolling on my timeline looking at the video, and just said she passed away. Don't say from what.
oh damn, sorry.
We had a couple of conversations about football before. That's crazy. Wow.
That happened. This guy I went to school with back in the day. Passed away this month.
Damn.
I was like, what? Where'd that happen?
Yeah, y'all just killed my story.
Yeah, my bad. Like I said, I was just checking my feed and scrolling and saw that. I was like, oh shit.
I mean, the Indie Fest was good. A lot of good indie artists there. And then we did the white party. I was trying to leave, but George held me hostage all night. But it was some nice looking ladies in all white. I wish CP3 could have made it out. He possibly could have met his future ex-wife.
But I thought you was going. You had your outfit planned.
I was trying to. I had to.
Nah, we had a situation with what's the name?
Oh, right. But I thought you already had it, so yeah.
No, I had some. I had some white and black stuff like that. Tired. I was gonna be ready to celebrate too. I got sales. I was like, yeah, ain't even go. I ain't got no long. I was gonna kill him.
You gonna kill him with the all white?
I mean, it's gonna be like there's gonna be other times and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's all.
So we're gonna get CP3 in this and then one of these nice functions and then
Right, we can be nice women.
Yeah, I need that.
I don't know. There might have been some boys in there.
Oh, it definitely
But
was.
at least they could be nice and got their own money. You know.
Yeah, I believe it's August already.
Yes.
Yes.
It's crazy. Going on almost a year worth of village.
Yeah.
So we was me and CP3 was outside earlier today and we was just showing. So when these people whine about there's no opportunity, there's no jobs, this. Like we literally watched a nigga on one of those scooters that you rent, and he had the backpack on, and he was delivering Uber Eats.
I know that's right. Yes.
And then I was like, see, when people say that there's no jobs, CP3 said, nah, they just don't have no hustle.
There you go. CP3 said that.
He did.
He be dropping gems sometimes.
He do. He dropped a gem on him. He said it. Lady Anthony, he said it in the serious voice too.
They just ain't got no.
Baby, it ain't gonna fall in your lap. You got to go out here and work for it. Folks it's gonna fall in their lap, man. I'm serious. It's not a game, you know. I was just thinking back to some of my folks. You know, I'll be going through a whole bunch of shit. I was looking to say, no matter what, you find a way to make it happen because you out here hustling. You're not sitting on your ass just, wallowing in it. You out here trying to make something happen. And, they encourage me to, keep it up there. They say, it's going to come eventually. But you got to put the work in. Ain't nobody going to give you shit. You talk about how the country all fucked up and racism and this and that. So why are you thinking about sitting on your ass somebody going to give you something?
Let me tell you what's funny though. Some of the hardest working people I know are former street pharmacists.
Because you got to know how to hustle. It's not a game. It's not just about hustling pharmaceuticals. It's about the hustle and the grind of being out there and you trying to get whatever dollar you can get doing what you got to do to make that dollar.
Another say former.
Yeah, allegedly. But I forgot. I saw a quote. I don't know if it's true. It's like most of the guys that used to sell drugs are some of the best businessmen in the world because exactly. You got supply and demand. You got to hustle. You got to be the first one out there on the block. I mean, the first one out there, hitting the streets and everything, trying to make things happen. So I mean, you gotta have a hustle. You gotta have a want. If you want to make it happen, you are the determining factor in your future.
Well, that's also why some of the big time guys they open other businesses too, and those other businesses quite often are. Yeah, well, not even financing everything. They're successful standalone businesses. Like you don't have to. They don't even have to do what they used to do because they're doing what they do.
Yeah, it's about diversifying your portfolio. I joke about that all the time, but that's what it is. When you can make your money make money for you, that's when you're wealthy. That's when you've made it. When you out here grinding for it and having to worry about paying monthly car notes and stuff like that, you ain't made it.
Did you watch that Columbus Short movie that was out some years ago?
True to the Game?
Yeah. Did
really
you see
good.
that?
Really good.
Man, that movie, I just wanted him to win.
I did too. Really good movie.
Man, that's all I thought, man. He a good dude, man. You said you haven't seen it? Probably.
Amazon Prime, probably Netflix as well.
Yeah. But you gotta watch
Tubi. It's on Tubi.
Yeah, you gotta watch it.
I don't know. He might go back into his old habits.
Oh.
Nah.
I was suspecting if I ain't get my number. I was like,
if you watch it until the end. Okay. Don't. I'm telling you this because I need you to watch it.
I ain't got Netflix.
Oh my God. But don't you have one of them sites that you can watch stuff on for the low? I'm gonna just say the low.
I got folks that got Netflix.
There you go.
But I mean, it's just about the grind. And back in the day, I did some things. I was, hustling, trying to make money, having money coming in from different avenues, and that's what you got to do. You got to diversify your portfolio. If you got a skill, a trade, or something that you like doing, go ahead and jump out there, start doing it, see if you can make some money off of your talent or your passion. And once you do that, You can start, you know, you never know where you can go.
Wait. So I was gonna Google it, right, to tell him where to go. Why they? I see that we got a two. It came
Yeah,
out in 2020.
it did, but I never got to see it because I was trying to figure. I was trying to
I don't know nothing about the second
go to the first one.
but I was trying to see where you can watch it.
I know it's on Tubi. You got Fire Stick, right? Yeah,
Oh, to be free.
yeah, Tubi free.
You might have to watch the commercials, but it's free.
But they keep all the cuss words and sex scenes, and you don't mind.
Oh, it says it's not on Netflix.
I think it's on Tubi and Amazon. True to the game. Oh, he got a bald head too. You can relate.
Smacking ass.
You know what?
And the main girl who plays Gina, she real cute.
American Peoples.
So let's wind this. Let's wind this down.
All I was trying to do is show him the daggone. And then they supposed to have a number 3 to come out this year. Oh my goodness. Let me just put my phone down. I'm finding out too much.
So CBD, what you got going on tomorrow, man?
Tomorrow night, as always, we're bringing you best sports coverage around. We're going to talk about the new revamped Nets with the players that we all don't know right now. We'll talk a little Washington football team. We'll break down the Wizards trade and draft picks. I know Robbie and the NBA Roundtable. Can't wait to talk about that. Who else? Who knows what else we might talk about? We got a little bit of Capitals news. Oh, I forgot to mention that earlier. Alex Ovechkin signed a 5-year. I think it was a 5-year, $50 million deal, which is about what we thought. He's going to retire.
This is Alex Ovechkin.
Yeah, he said he wanted to stay through 5 years because he's still chasing Gretzky's record, and the record, I believe, was 842 goals. I believe Ovi is in the 700 low 700s.
And there are people that are saying, "Oh, he can't do it. He can't do it."
But it's harder now with the 2 COVID seasons that were shortened, and it's regular 82-game season. If we'd have had those, he was on pace to possibly break the record or at least tie him. Now with the 5-year contract, he said that's definitely something that he's eyeing to be the all-time goal. He's already the all-time Russian-born goal leader ever in the NHL, but he wants to be the all-time goal leader.
Period.
Period. I mean, he deserves it. I mean, he has 1 cup. Hopefully, we can get another one. Capitals are going through a slight rebuild right now after their championship run. So they try to put a Band-Aid on the broken leg, but they're making some wholesale changes now. With the expansion draft, Seattle actually drafted the double V, Vanacek. I can't remember his first name.
I'm about to say.
Yeah, I'm not even. Last name Vanacek. But they actually traded after Seattle drafted him in expansion draft. The Capitals traded Brendan Dillon to Winnipeg for 2 second-round picks. And one of those second-round picks, I believe it was 2022 and 2023. With the 2023 draft pick, they traded that to Seattle to reacquire Double V. So I didn't like the fact that he had got picked up. They didn't protect him. They protected Samsonov, which I really wasn't a fan of because I'm not really sold on him. I like what Double V did coming in as a rookie, filling in for Samsonov when he was out, and with Lundqvist having a heart issue. I'm not sure if Lundqvist will be back to the team. We'll definitely discuss that tomorrow also. We'll probably talk a little bit of baseball, hockey, basketball, and football, and who knows what else. Probably, definitely talk Olympics. I know Robbie will be covering the Olympics. He's a guy. Not so much, but we'll definitely cover that all. Yeah, with the Olympics now, so it's starting to get a busy time for sports. So we got you covered on all facets and all fronts. Make sure you go check out the website, sportsothp.com, with all of our content, all of our podcast partners. Click on that link, you'll see all the affiliates of the show and the shows that they do. Go click on the apparel website to go get some of our apparel that we have on there, pillows, t-shirts, sweatshirts, iPhone covers, duffel bags, beach bags. We got it all covered. Help support the movement for watch the BC Sports coverage. And you can hit me up if you want the Sports OTA Free Apparel sponsored by Eric Cruiser. I got some things I'm trying to get in the works, but as I mentioned, the financial situation, I can't get things in my good looks like I used to back in the old days. But
I wasn't doing what you talking about.
where is it now? But just be on the lookout. Got a lot of things in the works. Hopefully, you get some things. Got a lot of tough decisions to make coming up on some things going for the show in my life. So stay on the lookout. DC Sports or the Politics. It's not just a game. It's fuck up my own catch rate.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, mixing liquors had to fuck up my own catch It's not fun. DC Sports or the Politics. It's not just a catchphrase. It's not just a motto. It's what we do.
Okay. Did you hear this one fellow? He messed up.
And who made him mix the liquor this week? So
Well, nobody but you.
I am not to blame.
And I am not to blame. No, you always blame us. You blamed me today, and you the one to drink up the Douce. But see, but you just said you don't blame people.
I ain't blame nobody recently. Last 2 seconds.
Terrible. Well, I ain't to blame. Not sure.
Oh man. Real quick, Lady Anthony, I just want to get your thoughts on it. So the baby has been taken off Lollapalooza because of his comments at controversy comments going rolling around.
So what did he say?
Let's just say they say some of the comments were slightly homophobic. And it was in reference, they're saying it was in reference to the Lil Nas X video.
Yep. Here's the thing. From my perspective, people say things often that we don't agree. Okay. And if they're not attacking me personally, you know, and when I say attack, I'm not saying just hurting my feelings. Okay. Then let it go.
Yeah.
We're in the age where we got two issues. You have people feeling attacked when they just hurt your little feelings. Okay. That's not an attack. If they say something that you disagree with that may hurt your feelings, but they're not actually attacking you, chill out. Number two, we do have people that feel like they can attack. We do have people that can say whatever they want to say, and then they can go after people and feel like there is no repercussion whatsoever. Problem is that people don't know what they did. I feel like anything that the baby will say out of his mouth that is not praising Lil Nas X is gonna be looked at as an attack. And that's not right. Since when does one rapper say something negative about another rapper and you get pulled from a show? Has that ever happened?
That's a good point. Because rappers say negative against other rappers.
You have rappers shooting at each other, trying to kill each other.
And
they still get shows.
They still get booked even on the same show.
We as one said award show that got canceled in a sense because of that.
So
thank you. So since when we had Biggie and Tupac both lose their lives because of beef, people still did not pull rappers from a show because they had beef with someone.
Funny thing is, there's a rapper named Saigon, and he was beefing with Mobb Deep. Well, his boy was beefing with Mobb Deep and he showed up to a show that he was booked on with Mobb Deep. They beat the shit out of that dude.
And so, even when there is physical violence threatening each other, people were not pulling rappers off of shows. Explain to me. Explain to me how this happened. Because I'm not a fan of debate. I could care less if you pull him from the show. But don't tell me that he hurt another rapper's feelings and you pulling him from the show
Heard another rapper who trolls other people.
on a daily basis. I am not, and I just sat here and I said Lil Nas X is a talented young man, so I'm not against him. By all means, I'm not against him. And I'm not agreeing with anything the baby said. I feel like if you gonna pull him for something real. There are times where rappers should have been pulled.
Yeah.
Because of the safety of everybody that was there. We had these rappers in Texas getting shot and killed not that long ago. Because we were on this show talking about it.
Yes.
Ain't nobody get pulled from those shows. But the baby hurts Lil Nas X feelings. He said something negative about him. I didn't hear anything about any threats of violence going back and forth between the two of them. I didn't hear anything about that. I could be wrong. However, unless that happened, I don't feel like they should have pulled the baby.
He's done lost a couple endorsements and everything for it.
Rappers get into it with each other every day.
This cancel culture is ridiculous.
Just like what CP3 was saying earlier. You standing up for the wrong stuff. Cancel culture? No, you need to be canceling people for other things. Because what's his name? Was it Lil Boosie? Yeah, Lil Boosie say stuff out his mouth all the time.
Yeah.
He even got shot in regards to, wasn't it him that got shot?
He got shot.
They got shot in regards to all the rappers and everything getting shot in Texas. You know, his boy was killed. Lil Boosie don't get pulled from nothing. People talk about him all the time. The fans threatened to cancel him over things numerous times. He talked about the Wayne Wade's baby.
Yeah.
So I'm confused why Lil Boosie don't get pulled, but the baby got pulled. I'm confused. I'm at a loss for words.
True indeed.
Because that even still, Lil Boosie can be looked at as homophobic as well.
Yeah.
But Lil Boosie still doing his thing.
He did get checked by Mike Tyson though.
I mean, he got checked by Mike Tyson, but Mike Tyson ain't pull him off of his show.
That's true.
Mike Tyson still had that man on his show and said what he needed to say to him.
Him.
But nobody is pulling
Lil Boosie and canceling this out. I feel you. That's true.
So I'm confused as to what the attack on the baby is because y'all standing up for the wrong. Lil Nas X is a grown man. Lil Boosie said some homophobic things in regards to a child.
Yeah.
So what you mad about? I'm confused.
Yeah. I get it.
So I don't agree with the baby getting pulled.
I don't either.
Cardi and what's her face? Lil Kim was fighting at a classy event.
Nicki,
yeah. I'm saying Kim. Lord Jesus, I got Kim in mind because I prefer Kim over Nicki. But they got to fighting at a real classy event. Neither one of them was getting pulled from that.
That's true.
Yeah. Cardi and big old knock my head. You don't remember that?
I remember that.
Not that you ain't even got following it. That was shown. That was well populated. You probably was at Facebook at that
time. So. Oh yeah, rest in peace, Biz Markie. You got it.
Yes. Oh, that's a legend right there.
Phenomenal legend.
Yeah,
so rest in peace, Biz Markie. And before we end this, I gotta say this. When I was in Miami, we got an alert saying there were new charges against R. Kelly. And these are coming from boards. Like 2 different boards. CPD is shaking his head in space. However, the one thing I think we tend to forget and then not even because I'm not going to defend R. Kelly, is keep in mind R. Kelly is also a victim of sexual molestation.
Yes, when he was 6 years old.
Was it his sister?
It was his sister. She was roughly 16. He was 6.
That's
Him and his brother.
and so is it even surprising?
For me, his past sexual situation from when he was a child, that traumatic encounter that he had, would indicate to some people that he would engage in heterosexual, relationships, whether they're appropriate or not. However, R. Kelly is a damaged person. Okay?
Very
He
damaged.
suffered a lot of trauma, and he's in the music industry. It is not a secret that the music industry has a lot of it has a strong homophobic tone to it, but you have these underground situations, these down low situations where you hear of music execs coming onto straight men.
Well, it's not even just music. I mean, even in the movie,
Well, music and movie execs are both they're prying on rising artists.
Yes, definitely.
And attempting to solicit sex from people in a very inappropriate way, male, female, whatever. With that said, R. Kelly, when you're in a culture like that, R. Kelly I could see him imposing on anybody. I'm not surprised to hear that boys are making these claims for many reasons. Many reasons, and they're kind of on both hands. For one, I would not be surprised if R. Kelly actually did it. Okay. Number two, I wouldn't be surprised if they were false and boys were coming forward, because that happens too.
Yeah.
We know R. Kelly has pride on young women. We've known this since the 90s. So it was not a secret to anybody ever. When he married Aaliyah, as old as he was, and she was 15, that was very clear indication that he likes teenage girls.
That was it.
And it was alleged that he also got her pregnant. So we have that. And then we also have, just his history. If he did it, it's surprising that it's just coming out.
Yeah.
It is a surprise to me that R. Kelly was just recently put into jail. Like, why this man was in jail in the 90s? I don't know.
Any thoughts on the CP3?
Folks that make money, especially in the entertainment industry, they, certain folks that make excuses for the allegations of him being boys or molested or whatever it is. I mean, like I said, the fact that he was, molested at a young age, that definitely does make him preconditioned to being a predator, which we know is documented through victims, advocates, and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm not gonna say he's a sexual deviant, but some of his, past and some of the things that he's done has given him a bad track record and reputation, and I don't even know. Like I said, some of the stories y'all told me from some of the stuff that y'all knew about that I had no idea about, it's a shock to me. So I'm probably the wrong person to ask about perspective on this situation. Because some of the stuff y'all told me about B. Diddy and some of these folks in the music industry and Hollywood, I'm like, damn, I only worry about the music. Glad I do. And that other shit, I don't know what the fuck. Crazy.
So you just mentioned.
I mean, in this day and age of everything that's going on in the world and life, I don't really get too shocked about too much right now. Let's just say, Donald Trump came out and said that, black people been mistreated and he's racist. Other than that,
I would be shocked.
I really don't. I don't be surprised. unless that happens. Other than that,
Yeah.
anything that happens nowadays, I mean, I don't really watch the news as much as I used to, but I get the alerts on some of the apps that I have for, and see some of the alerts that come across, parents killing their kids, unnecessary
That
violence.
aunt in Baltimore that killed her niece and nephew and
Yeah.
had them in the trunk for a whole year. That was shocking.
It was for a whole year?
The little girl was in the trunk for a whole year, and then the little boy, she put him in the trunk next to the little girl for a few months, and then the police pulled her over for something obviously.
She was pulled for a routine like traffic stop.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I posted it on a lot of the stories, something like that. I post on the At the Bar page.
I posted it on my story. It was that's shocking.
Yeah.
You know, R. Kelly getting accused by anybody under the sun. Actually, I probably would get shocked if it was like somebody's old grandmama.
Cause I'd be
That
too
would
old
shock
for
me. Yeah, that would shock me because
We could probably pee on it without her running away.
you know about to end the show.
Just saying, give me different perspective.
Lady Antoinette, anything you want to say before we get off air?
I mean, as far as what's coming up
Yeah,
soon for
yes.
me, I'm going to try to get a set. I'm usually traveling often throughout the summer for fun stuff. I haven't been able to do that. I'm traveling for non-fun stuff. I'm going to try to sneak away for the weekend. I'll come back Sunday next week. So there's that. I have some things in the works. Some of it I shared with you guys on the distillery tip. I'm not gonna share it on air just yet. Wait. But yeah, hopefully I'm gonna be rest and relaxation next time y'all see me.
Definitely.
Why did you take a big gulp of the beer like that? Are you okay? No, you're not.
You're not.
No, I'm glad it's the end of the show because I don't think you can make it. See?
I'm feeding me, baby.